Without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. It's not easy, so keep working, keep striving, never give up, fall down 7 times, get up 8. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. So keep moving, keep growing, keep learning. See you at work.
You speak as though I have conquered death. I live death every day. I am surrounded by it, smothered by it. Look at you now. He would have everlasting life. You seek to defy death, yet you cannot even defy sleep. And our like sleep is to death. It is a painted death.
I've tried to be your friend, but you will not listen to me. So you invited this monster. Don't make me kill somebody.
Woo! While they sleep, we work. While they sleep, we work.
Good morning, come on in. Coffee's good, fresh and hot. There's a waffle in the baker, on the grill we're making bacon. You're always welcome back.
Charge!
There's a fire beneath my skin. There's a fever that makes me ill. Gotta love the love that kills. I got 24 hours to live. Come back. I'm down on my knees. Come back. I'm begging you, please.
What is up, everybody? It's great to see you guys. Welcome to the Waffle Lodge. I am Shanthan Jetty. This is Shanthan Jetty Art, and we're going to be making some cool stuff tonight because that's what we do here. What is up, SDA? I see you coming on in, bringing the bacon. So let's take a look and see who we've got here in the chat. My goodness, you guys have got it happen. Up first, we've got Stephen Rockwood. We have got Lord Ravener. We have got John. We have got, let's see who else. We got Perth Comics here. We've got B. Cooper. What's up, brother? We have got, let's see, Jeremy Burtz. It's good to see you, my friend. We have got Louis Filet. Good to see you, Louis. And let me see if I've got anybody else I've missed here. NTM Comics, what's up, Noah? Good to see you, my friend. We have got Angela Curry. It is great to see you, Angela Curry. American Comics Company, you are always in good company with American Comics Company in the chat. And let me see who else I've got. We've got Pops Van Sant. It is good to see you, Pops. Hail, Pops. Good to see you in the chat, man. Let's see. We got my brother, Phil. Phil is in the chat. Good to see you, my friend. I hope everything is going well for you. I hope everybody's had a great day. We're going to see if we can't close out this day and then into Wednesday. And then we've got B. Rose. What is up, B. Rose? It is good to see you, my friend. Great to have you in the chat, my friend. Let's see here. John, Angela, see if there's anybody else I missed. We got Son of Liberty Radio. It is great to see you. I can hang for 35 minutes. Oh, my God. I must have spent half of that on intros. I am sorry, Son of Liberty Radio. We will get you there. We will get going as fast as we can. American Comics Company. We got Aldous. Good evening, Aldous, as I like to say. Good to see you, Aldous. Let's see who else I've got. Lord Ravener, Perth, Zaid, SDA. We already got you, SDA, but I want to make sure I show you up on the screen. And then let's see what else we got. We got Jeremy Lord Crackhead 33 and doing some hard work while they sleep. He works. Know that well. What's up, Jay Lee? It is good to see you, my friend. Glad to have you here. Oh, Bubblegum Crisis Boomer on the screen. You're absolutely right. Jordan, it's good to see you, my friend. Hey, hails, and hellos. Absolutely right and well said. Let's see what else we've got here. Anybody else? Going once, going thrice. We got General Piggy. Good to see you, General Piggy. It is great to have you in chat. Bow indeed. If it's not too much to say, I'd like to reply with... Yeah, bow to you, my friend. Let's see what else we've got going on in here. Let's see here. Raiden Radio, we've got... did I already get Raiden Radio? I think I did, but just in case it didn't, bow. Let's see here. Black Rose Comics, we've got Matt B. Studio. Hail to you, my friend. It is good to see you here in the chat. And let's see. John, Raiden. I think that's just about everybody. Let's get crack-a-lackin' and see what we can do. So... for those of you guys who haven't seen this before, I've been doing some work on a character that is one of Rob's characters from The Replicator, and I'm having a really good time and working on that. It's been a ton of fun, And so what we're going to be doing tonight is we're going to be doing some drawing, doing some talking about comics, talking about art, as we often do. I've even got some cool stuff to show that I mentioned on the last stream, and I want to make sure that I do that. So we were talking last stream, if memory serves, and my memory, well, it serves, cannot always be counted on. But we were talking about a artist by the name of Travis Charest, and I was talking about Travis Charest's work on a book called X-Men Wildcats. Now, some of you guys have seen it, some of you guys had not, but in particular, and I don't know if he's around tonight, but somebody, gosh, who was it who said it? I think it was Antoine Dennison, but I could be wrong. Talked about a particular panel that was in that book, a 16 or 6 page in that book. It was a 16-page panel, and believe it or not, or a 16-panel page, but it was on page 16, which I just saw. Jay Lee, I own it. You own X-Men Wildcats. Very nice, man. If you own that page, you gotta, what do I need to do? Hey, Antoine, speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Antoine, was it you who was talking about page 16 of X-Men Wildcats that has the 16-panel page on it? Let me know. Yeah, that's right. Oh, he had a flash sale on warts and all. Yeah, sometimes you got to. It's good to see you in the chat. Yeah, we got tons of people here. OC Steve, it's good to see you, brother. A true member of our fine Waffle Lodge. So let me see if I can do this here, because I want to show you this, because it is one of those things that I found that Heritage Auctions, if you know Heritage Auctions, they have high-res scans of comic book artwork in them. And the thing I love about it is that they've got, let me see here. They've got this, if I can add this to stream here. They've got high-res scans of things like this. Now, this is a page from Travis Charest's. Let me close the sidebar because it doesn't need to be there. There we go. But it's high-res enough to where we can zoom in and see all of that incredible detail of Travis's on this book. So one of the things I have to say is, when we're talking about this stuff, right? How cool is this, Antoine? This is absolutely the cat's pajamas. This is insane, insane stuff. But what I love about Heritage Auctions is they take, high resolution photos of these pages and put them online so you can actually see the work that goes into them, and take a look at the stuff that you're seeing right here with regards to tones, values, traditional pen and ink with some washes on it. It is just a beautiful sequence. I mean, this is a tiny panel, and look at all of the beautiful realization of this with the color, with the value, and how it all plays out. She throws the knife, the way that he shows everything that's happening in this. It's just a dynamite page. And then we've got another image by Travis around the same time. And I think this could have been an alternate cover, but I think it was a pinup in the book for sure. And you can see where he's using the white paint, which I think might have been acrylic. And then that's mixed in with the ink washes. Just incredible stuff from the man Travis Charest. And then here is another page right here. And again, because these were on the Heritage Auction site, you can get a really good look at the ferocious ink work on here. All right, Jay Lee saying, no, I don't own the original page, but I have the issue in my collection. It is a great issue to have in your collection, let me tell you. My favorite Charest work, God, I always pronounce his name wrong, is Dark Star stuff he did. Yeah, absolutely. It is the bee's knees. Yeah, how cool is this stuff, man? And there, yeah, B-Rose has got Cerebrum up on Indiegogo, guys. Check it out if you feel so inclined. Back it up. What's up, Astro Zombie? Good to see you. I've really come to appreciate black and white liner. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, this is some sick stuff here. And I just love the way he handles painting the smoke over the black and white lines, things like that. So while it is going to be difficult for me to go to my stuff following showing Travis' stuff, that's a rough way to go. Yeah, Sarah's bum. Yeah, see Steve. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good title. But yeah, I love that kind of stuff. And so one of the things I found myself thinking about when I was looking at Rob's character and thinking about how I would approach it was I found myself thinking about the way I think about Travis Charest stuff. And so what I wanted to do with this piece when I was working on it was really start to lay in some of the detail work of this page or this drawing. Let me see if I can get a little bit less of a reflection. I want to see what light it is causing me trouble here. It's always this way with ink. If I get it just off center, and see if I could get that page to flow just a little bit better by having this stuff come into play here. So this right here is, generally speaking, how I will approach some of the stuff that I do, which is starting out with just a kind of smoother line in there, and then just sort of working to kind of create the detail of, whatever the particular part of anatomy is that I'm drawing. And then as I sort of evolve that, and I have to rotate it a little bit, it helps me to give it a little bit more of a sense. Let me move that camera. There we go. A little bit more sense of depth to the hand. And I like the idea of this guy having his tech kind of out and away from his body, but having his hand still almost like he's firing it, from his hand. So it's basically, I think it was an M31, but I'm not, is that the right kind of Gatling gun it was, or not a Gatling gun, a minigun. But I was looking it up. I was looking at it one fire in slow motion and trying to just get a sense for how it worked. And that was a fun day on YouTube. And so that's my plan, is to kind of bring that quality to this character, that kind of intensity. So it's really, really fun. I love Goliath as a character. I think he looks great. Let me see here. A lot of praise for the art, but who wrote the issue, Sean? No Lobdell love. Actually, I really did like it, and I do love Lobdell's stuff. I think he does. Yeah, M134. Thank you, Lord Crackhead 33. And I will tell you this. The thing I love about, love Cassidy's Lone Ranger. There you go. The thing about it for me is I remember those books and the early issues of Wildcats that Scott Lobdell also wrote. And they were really nice, and I liked the flow on it. I thought it was a really great, romp kind of adventure story. And it's one of the things that I think you can see in Travis's own personal work that he's interested in. You know what I mean? He's interested in that kind of stuff. Yeah, the underglow on the armor is great, like Ed 209 and Apocalypse. Absolutely. Ed 209 was one of my favorite designs. It still is in terms of tech. Let's see here. Yeah, Rob has no character. Antoine, giving Rob the love. Yeah, it's the M134. Thank you. And I was watching that, and the trick is, the cool thing was, I actually found a video that someone had done on it that did a cutaway. So it actually did a 3D model of it where you could see it and see the interior and see how it was working, and that was a lot of fun to see. I always love that kind of thing. So let me just adjust something really quickly here. Not that one. Don't want this one. 1 second here. I want to just adjust this camera a little bit here. Color correction. Let's do this. The contrast might be a little too high, and the gamma needs to be brought down just a bit. There we go. Yeah, guys, I'm really starting. So big things are afoot at the Circle K. One of the things that I've been doing and working on right now is I've been trying to get my setup to be a little bit stronger and figure out like how I can get this stuff to work. So I just got a brand new camera for here. And then I got another Razer camera, Kaio camera, and then I moved this one here. And they're both working to me a lot better than they were working. Hey, Snoochie Boochies, what's up, Billy Baskin? It's good to see you, my friend. Very, very cool. Yeah, big things are Bigfoot. We're squatching it, man. We're squatching it. And this is the thing for me. Let's see. SDA says, I got to admit, at the time, I didn't like Lobdell, but he's an amazing writer in comparison. Today's writers, I don't know if you can compare him. What is up, Admiral Wackass? It is good to see you, my friend. And when I'm looking at all this stuff, that's the thing. Yeah, we do need Waffle Lodge shirts. Yeah, that's got to happen. We're going to do that. But the thing for me when I'm working on this stuff is, and I'm looking at my camera setup, I went, I need to get a much better camera and, set up so that it's easier for me to work. I'm using an old iPhone for my secondary camera. It can sometimes mess with the quality of the overall stream. There's a lot of other stuff involved, makes color correction a little bit of a pain in the butt. And so I finally sat down and sort of have got my setup working, so it's a little bit easier to figure out. And you can see, like right here, where I've got this column that's been, being shot by the minigun, by the M134. The thing that I sort of ran into was I went, okay, I got to do a Google search and look at a cross section of a stone column. Not that it's not a science fiction-y kind of version of it, but I wanted to add that. So that's been the big thing that I've been trying to do with this stuff. You brought up Jordan Raskin last show, but didn't mention issue number 1 of Predator Race War. Actually, the art he did in that was amazing. Yeah, I had that issue. That's a great issue. Really great issue. I did love that issue. So yeah, I had it, and I should have brought that up. Yeah, I think it's because I had that picture of the pencil preview of Ripclaw in my head. And I actually remember going to conventions when that book had been solicited, and they were showing process stuff of it at the conventions. And I was by the Top Cow booth, and I was like, they were talking about him, and they were talking about his work, and I think they were talking about trying to find an inker for him, or something. I forget what the conversation was, but it was really cool, and I did enjoy it. So let's see what else we've got going on here. So yeah, so the thing for me this week has been, I wrapped up the Nosferatu piece, and I'm going to be shipping that to Narwhal. I finished Gabe El-Taib's new trailer for his book. And then, and by the way, it's his daughter's birthday. So everybody in the chat, please say happy birthday to his daughter, Minnie. I believe it's Minnie's birthday, I hope. Yeah, I hope he's having a great time. So let's see here. Son of Liberty Radio, I got a really awesome cam for my secondary broadcast setup. Very nice. That has a motorized base and tracks me when I move about the office. It's pretty cool. Holy cow, that is awesome. Yeah, the Top Cow booth used to give away tons and tons of stuff. In other words, Sean's to dipping his toe into live streaming and decide to get serious. Yeah. Well, I don't know if we'd say I'm getting serious. I'm doing my best. It's tough. Tired as hell, just got out of the gym, gonna crash soon, all this, good seeing you too. Yeah, absolutely. Seriously, guys, I understand it's late. I know you guys have had long days, so if people have to get some sleep, get some sleep. The stream will be available for you guys when you wake up, and hopefully it'll be worth the time. So that's definitely been the big factor for me when I'm working on all this stuff. Is I was talking to my wife today, and I said, the first thing that I was, 100% focused on and stressed about, because you don't know how these things are going to go, was getting Nosfero, funded. And so once I got that funded, once I moved my office and workspace into the other room where I could actually shut the doors and focus and kind of make it my own space, that was the next bit. And then the bit that I'm at right now with all this stuff is I'm able to think about cutting my second Nosfero trailer. I just wrapped up all of that stuff. And then the show. And I started realizing, I was sitting around here, and I think it was partially working on Gabe's trailer and doing some 2.5D stuff and playing around with some overlay stuff, that I realized I can do so much more with this show. And so that I can, get cameras set up and, do, obviously for painting, but also to make the show more fun. And the first step of that was, obviously me thinking about, my childhood, my youth, and all of the fun that we had going and getting waffles at Waffle House at God knows what hour in the morning. And I thought, that's something that's fun. I want to do that. I want to bring something of that to what I do on YouTube, because, we can do anything here. And then the second aspect of it has been really thinking about, when we do these shows, that they are like a virtual space, and there's room to kind of dial things up and make it really fun and play around with things, just add to the entertainment value. So I've got a bunch of ideas that I'm developing and doing sketches for this show. And that's the kind of thing that I think is so fun about CG. We get to do this stuff. Let's see. We got some people coming in. What is up? What's up, ICM Comics? It is good to see you, Chris Rizzo. Good to see you, my friend. Let's see here. OC Steve, D-Wag as co-host. More fun. There you go. Hail chat, Rizzo, everybody saying hello. I've got to buy a streaming camera. Yeah, those will do you well, man. Those will do you well, those streaming cameras. The one I've got right now. What's up, Devil Flyer Momentum? The one I've got is the Razer Kaio. It's pretty good, but I'd ask, more serious, people who've been doing this a lot longer, who might know more. But that one works great for me. The biggest thing has been the mic. You guys notice when the sound is off and I don't have my mic set up. But getting a good mic is important, obviously. And my favorite mic is Michael Bancroft. So there you go. Let's see here. ICM Comics, Devil Flyer Momentum. Yeah, everybody's saying hello, hello, hello. Yeah, it's good stuff. So, but I don't do a lot of tech in the stuff that I'm doing because the stuff that I'm doing is sort of more sword and sorcery. The way that it was designed, if you see, the early design pages, which I think I've shown on a few streams, but these were my first, oh gosh, sorry. They're in reflective sleeves. So let me hold on a second while I whip this thing out. They're on the same paper that this sketch is. And this is what the first kind of sketch ideas for what Nosfero and what this comic book world was going to be. So you can see I still was pretty fixated on werewolves and transparent nightgowns. So very little has changed in that regard. And then the other thing has to do with a little bit of what I was going to do with the werewolf lore. And that, is this 2 sheets of paper that I accidentally put in here? Wow, that's interesting. If that's true. Very cool. And so this was one of the early, very Frazetta-ish kind of pieces that I was working on for something that will probably still end up in Nosfero at some point. I just don't think it's going to be in the first issue yet. But this is really, to me, what it's about is these sketches, and trying to come up with, well, what is this world going to look like and what are the characters in this world going to be like? And the last of those sketches, let's see if I can get this thing. I just realized I don't want Phil to have to hear that. But Phil, your painting almost took a dive. But this is an even weirder aspect of a sketch that was a direction that we didn't go down. So this sketch right here was an idea for a creature character that I was working on. And then, of course, sometimes transparent nightgowns rip. Things happen, people. I don't make the rules. I just make the paintings. And so, yeah, so I was having fun working on this stuff right here. And so that is what it's about. That's, for me, that was the kind of fun aspect of it. So I still get to work on the sketch paper from time to time. Yeah, more bears. Yeah, we need more bears. You're absolutely right. What would we title an Anton Dennison live stream show? That's a good one, man. I feel like we could say The Doctor is in. That's what it should be. The Doctor is in. No. Yeah, no. Sorry, Phil. It almost took a dive, man. It seriously almost hit the floor. Yep, Frazetta Queen. That is absolutely what it is, man. Yeah, werewolves, transparent nightgowns are a good combo. You're darn tootin'. That's exactly what it's about. Yeah, guys, I want to put the I want to put the sexiness back in comics. I want to put the fantasy back in comics. I look at the old EC stuff. I look at the Frazetta artwork, and there was this aspect of them that was, 1970s Lady Booty. Yeah, that'll do it. There was this aspect of femininity and female sexuality in the figures that was so like overpoweringly beautiful and attractive. And it was in glimpses. It was in, it was just, they were such powerful symbols, like in terms of how they exuded it. They were the movie stars. They were what the gentlemen are in the, Marvel, movies, what they do with them. There was a power like that in the 70s. And what about werewolves and transparent nightgowns? And so, so when I go to do this stuff and I go to do these paintings, it's become a bit of a, I don't want to say, cliche, but if the shoe fits, but it's become a big aspect of, let's see if I can zoom this out here. It's become a big aspect of the artwork, seemingly out of nowhere. Like I was not before this comic book. I was, the way I was doing things and the way I was working on my stuff was very different. than what I'm doing on, say, like a page like this. And it's very much based on 1970s Hammer movies like Twins of Evil. What's up, Cranberry Langers? It's good to see you, man. Excellent. Just backed for the transparent nightgown. Are you? Yeah, that's right. Everybody just backs for the transparent nightgown. Hey, listen, I'm cool with that. The fish kills here. That stuff for me. You just killed me, man. You just killed me. Oh my Lord. But that was the thing about it for me, was trying to create that space where, you know, you go into it and you just feel the you know, how sexy the characters are, how strong-willed the characters are. And if I can just continue to bring that stuff, you know, into the work, that's what I'm after. That's what I'm going for, you know, is to try to bring that sensibility where, you know, there's an aspect of that you see in Frazetta and that you see in a lot of that artwork from the time. I should put some of those sketches up on the Indiegogo. But yeah, take care, Louis. Have a good night, my friend. But that was the thing for me about a lot of that work from that time, was that, you know, and actually I should probably put a female figure in this piece, by the way, just to give myself something fun, you know, to draw in there, as well as the tech. I just got to figure out how I would even make that work. But the thing about it for me is, when I'm working on this stuff and when I'm working on my artwork, the number one goal, let me see if I can raise this camera just a little bit. Yeah, sexy and powerful in nightgowns. Happy International Women's Day. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Darn right. Yeah, not too Louis. That's right. Luis Royo. Is that who it is? Yes, I think I know that work. Let's see here. Yeah, let's see here. Someone said Twins of Evil, great movie. Yeah, it is. I love that movie. And the nightgown that my character wears is from that. Are you having a problem finding paper yet? Paper shortages here. Not yet, actually. And I've got a little bit of a stock to keep me going. Yeah. Girl left, nightgown on the right. Yeah, well, this is the thing, right? It's when I'm drawing and when I'm looking at my characters and figures, I'm always thinking about how I can make the figures feel powerful and epic. And it's the same thing with this piece right here. I mean, it doesn't change anything else. But I remember seeing there would be in these Hammer horror movies, there would be these great sequences of, you know, the Hammer beauties, female leads, and they would be walking, you know, barefoot through a field or something like that in a nightgown, or through a castle, and they would just have this presence like they walked out of a Frank Frazetta piece. You know what I mean? And I just love that. I love Frazetta. I love the power of that work, and I love doing little things. Like I just finished, I wish I could show you the whole thing, but I just finished, I'll show you a corner of it. I just added a bat to the Nosferatu piece I'm doing for Narwhal, that I did for Narwhal. I'm going to be mailing this original to him soon. Little things like that, like the way that the color breaks inside of the wings, these aren't things you ever have to do. Like Narwhal wasn't like, you need to add a bat to that. He's just a cool guy, and he's open to what we do, and he's open to what we, you know, do in terms of art, because he's an artist himself, obviously. And so when we talk about the kind of things we want to do, we get to play around with it and push it. So every single panel and every single page of Nosfero is built around those same kind of attitudes of fantasy. Like a page like this, which is one of my favorite pages from the book, you know, and you've just got that intensity of what's going on. I mean, Nosfero is rescuing Laurel in this sequence, and he's summoning his, you know, hellhound, otherworldly hellhound. Oh, hold on a minute here. This deserves a special. Hail, Jay Lee. Yeah, Caroline Monroe, or Caroline Monroe, depending on how, I don't know how to pronounce it. Sorry about that. Was in many Hammer films, and she was in the 1973 Sinbad, which I love, The Golden Voyage of Sinbad, if I'm not mistaken, which was my favorite Sinbad movie. I love that movie for the Cyclops Centaur, and she is gorgeous in every single frame of that, you know. There are pull-out bats now. Yeah, absolutely. You got to. Yeah, the little touches, man, that's what it's about. It's about the little touches. That's what we got to do, you know. But yeah, absolutely right. Oh, Laurel is your mom's name. Oh, wow, very cool. Yeah, I love that name for its meaning, and its meaning is very tied in the story. In a lot of ways, if you know the meaning of that word, you understand sort of what her role is. Oh, that's right. And The Spy Who Loved Me. God, I forgot about that. You're right. Yeah. It's a great movie. Yeah. Tomato. You're absolutely right. my pronunciations are all over the map though, so it is what it is. Yeah, it looks like a good bat. Yeah, I want, when someone buys one of my head sketches or commissions me to do an illustration for them, I was saying this before. I'll usually get a thumbs up from someone I do work for, and I'll be the one who kind of pushes for it to be a little bit more, because if something's going to be in somebody's house, and by the way, this goes with Nosfero. This is a book that when you back it, it's going to be in your house. You know, you're going to have this book, and I want you guys to get this book and be so happy with every single page of this book. You know, it's a book where I want just it to feel like you're flipping through paintings that are telling you a story. And I love that stuff. Yeah. Captain Kronos Vampire Hunter is a great Hammer horror film. Let me say this. I think I definitely want to do some Hammer horror streams where we talk about Hammer horror. Oh, thank you so much, man. You guys are the best. Seriously, thank you. I want to do more streams where I talk about that kind of stuff, because Hammer horror is one of the defining influences on Nosfero. And I actually recently just picked up the Hammer horror collected comic book reprints that they did recently. And I don't know if I can, where is it? I thought I had one that was not too much of an avalanche problem, but I'm beginning to doubt that the more I look here, that I can avoid starting an avalanche if I find it. But there was a Hammer horror book that I had kicking around. Oh, there it is. It'll still cause an avalanche, but it's worth it. It's like right underneath my Dale Keown Pitt trade paperback. But these are the Hammer horror collected classics if you've never seen them before. And these are, they did comic book adaptations of the Hammer horror movies. And this one has in it Curse of the Werewolf adapted. And you can get these online. You can get these on eBay. They're new. They ship directly from the publisher who puts them out. But I love these. These are called, they're Quality Comics is who puts these out. And these are the collected classics. And this is issues 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Curse of the Werewolf, The Gorgon, Plague of the Zombies, and 1 Million Years BC. It has the comic adaptations for all of those. And yeah, and Laurel is the character's name, largely because it's a play off of my wife's name, which is Lauren. So I thought it would be a good way to go for me. Let's see here. Sean, you seriously need to offer an oversized edition of this thing printed on textured paper. I may absolutely do that. There's a lot of things we're looking at. I mean, this is the thing for me about Comicsgate, and the thing for me about doing this work is I wanted to create artwork that was quality. Hey, what's up, Simon? How you doing? One of the things I wanted to say about this stuff is that I wanted to create work that, you know, that I have equity in, so to speak. Like, I own the work, I can reprint it, I can do things with it, including the art books. But I want the first printings to be the first printings. I want the second printings to be the second printings. And I want the people who get in on this early to have, you know, the first printings, the first editions of these books. And then I might see if I'm going to, you know, do something different with them or things from there. So that's a very real possibility. It just is however high we grow this thing and however big Nosfero gets, then that's going to dictate what we're able to do. And I just think it's going to be a great book. Antoine Tyson, John, not your fault unless, Dad. That's awesome, man. You're cracking me up. Yeah, that's the thing too, you know. Okay, get some sleep, Cranberry Langers. Absolutely get some sleep. And good night to you, my friend. But so for me, you know, I want there to be this kind of, I think we need to bring back everything to comics, because I feel like comics need us to be doing this stuff. But I think that we need to bring the sexiness, the fun, the pulp, as Razor Fist would say, as my boy Phil would say. We need to bring that pulp back. We need to bring that sensuality. And I don't just mean in, you know, female figures. I mean, like this amazingly cool, sensual, rich, adventurous, fun quality to comics. And that's what it's about, you know? Jordan says, some prints from the more signature pages done up in a classic style movie poster would be something I'd buy. Ooh, yeah, that is a good idea. That is a really good idea. What is up, Dan? How are you doing, my friend? Ingrid Pitt has always been one of my favorite Hammer actresses. Yeah, Ingrid Pitt was actually who I used as the model for this early sketch. It doesn't really look like her, but I used her as the model for this sketch. So there's a little bit of her in there. It's not the best Ingrid Pitt piece I could do, and at some point I will do a portrait of her. So yeah, love that. And Dan, it's great to see you, my friend. By the way, Dan, you killed me with the artwork you sent me on Twitter today, man. You killed me with that. I was like, yeah, I love it. Thank you for sharing that with me, by the way, Dan. I appreciate it. OCC, smoking jackets. Yeah, absolutely. We should do that. Sean, Phil, and Aldous keeping that pulp alive. We have to. We have to. Yeah, Ingrid Pitt. Yep. Absolutely. Pulp never dies. That's absolutely right. Yeah, man. Pulp never dies. Yeah, I love that stuff, man. That's the stuff that I'm the most about. And so if you guys will indulge me, because we have got Dan here in the chat, and I like to make sure we're always, guys, listen, this is Comicsgate is a chance for us to make things cool. So when I've got, and make this thing bigger and bigger and bigger, we got a link to Goblin Girl right here in the chat. I got to make sure that we give a big shout out to his book. So here you go. There we go, guys. So we're getting there. Yeah, I mean, my whole thing about it is that, we got to have more fun with this stuff. We got to make some more artwork and get the adventure out there. Hey, what's up, Billy? Happy to put that stuff out there. Yeah, Ingrid is actually James Bond's wife. There you have it. Yeah, you could do worse. I mean, an incredible woman, by the way. Ingrid Pitt, the thing I love about Ingrid Pitt is that she was so good to her fans. She escaped the Holocaust to flee to several countries before ending up in England. I mean, she's an amazing story. And she died, at a ripe old age on her way to go and have dinner with fans. You don't get any classier than her. What a classy lady. What an amazing life story. Hail Ingrid Pitt, and rest in peace. We love you. Let's see here. Yeah, the colors are looking great on that, Billy. Shant, I agree. These books need to be beautiful and distinct as we can make them. Maybe people will be referencing them in 20 years, just like that Wildcats Golden Age. Antoine Dennison, let me tell you something, man. And this is probably not the right place for us to plan a crime. But if we can find those Wildcats X-Men pages, I say this, we pull off a heist and we split them. What do you say? I just love that stuff, man. Yeah, the colors are looking really vibrant on Goblin Girl, guys. I'm so excited to see it. Yeah, gotta gobble up Goblin Girl. Absolutely. I saw a really cool commission piece. Wish I could talk about it, but I can't. Let's see here. Dude, you're welcome, man. I thought Diana Rigg played Bond's wife. It's like a return serve. Playing tennis, guys. Here it goes. Hail peeps. Hey, what's up, Indie Wrestling Aces? Good to see you, my friend. Whoop, we just jumped again. My gosh. Yeah, Ingrid Pitt. Bow indeed. Hey, Edwin. Dan Plagueles, Boob Dan Art. Absolutely. We love you, man. Gotta support that book. Yeah, Page Heist. Yeah, Antoine Dennison is with me. Done. Yeah. We're gonna need 12 people. Dun dun dun. $5 says he shorts it. Dan has put in so much work world building Goblin Girl. People are going to love this. And I want to tell you guys this. I popped into one of Reni's streams the other day, talk a little bit of art school experiences, and Dan was working on what looked like a double page spread, and it was beautiful stuff. It was just gorgeous world building stuff for anybody who is interested and passionate in in about illustration and all of the things. I think we've even talked about this before, but my work was really influenced at a certain point by Frazato's stuff. If you guys know the Mazer series, and to me, that is the stuff that Dan is embodying in his drawings, and Billy is bringing so much to it with color. So I love it, man. I love that kind of stuff. Yeah, I love it. It's great. Yeah, Indie Wrestling Aces, everybody saying hello. Antoine Dennison has got that exclamation point in the chat. OC Steve, Edwin, and Jaylee, I'm mistaken. She was played by Deanna Riggs. My bad. Yeah. Either way, I'm saying love both of them. I think we can all agree on that, right? Let's see here. So mean. It's like walking around with a hot Krispy Kreme donuts and never offering you one. That's absolutely right. So true. Yeah, I know. It is rough. I'm sorry about that. Yo! Let's see here. Billy Basco sounds good. I hope the story lives up to the art. Yeah, absolutely right. That's how it always is, man. We're always trying to bring that A game on everything. I know two things at Jaylee: Bond girl actresses and pulp. No worries. There you go. Yeah, those aren't too bad subjects to have, and frankly, they have quite a bit of overlap. So yeah, like when I look at a piece like this, the thing I'm always thinking about, to me, that makes it, hey, what's up? How are you doing, by the way? It's good to see you, my friend. Let's see if I can pronounce this. So Curialt, I'm going to say. Hopefully I got that within 100 yards, but it's great to see you, my friend. Yeah, I will tell you this, man. It's one of those things, and we're getting links. Jeremy's making it rain in the chat. Never forget, the man works hard, he plays hard, and he comic skates hard. That is how it is. That's how it always is going to be. Yeah, John, absolutely. Yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, that's going to be awesome too, indeed. Sorry, gosh, I clicked on it when I wanted to highlight it. There you go. And there's Jordan saying hello. Admiral saying hello, hello, hello. So yeah, I mean, for me, when I'm doing something like this, my general attitude is, how can I put as much into it in terms of the fantasy elements, but also in terms of the elements of immaculate reality, building the world. And so one of the movies that I've been seeing lately and watching the behind the scenes on T-34, a tank movie that my son was really into. And the thing I wanted to do with this piece, and the thing I'm working on right now that I'm going to be sketching in, is I wanted to make sure that I put in let me adjust this, that I put in a tank in this painting, because I think that it just gives you a sense of the power of this character. If I could have him standing on, a tank-like, vehicle from this time, something that's just got a little bit more to allow me to get some more reference into it. And I do think that stuff always brings a little something to it, a little something extra, if you will. And so I just take the brush, line my hand up like that, and then I can start to really get a sense of how it's going to come together and like how I'm going to put those lines in. And so the reference, generally speaking, that I do, and I'll sketch from reference, and then I'll sketch from the sketch and get the reference in the last, latter part of the finishing stage, because my sketches hopefully got enough data in it to help me get through it. But that's the thing that I really enjoy about building these worlds here, thinking about things like how I'm going to have the angle be there, and then how I'm going to also have coming out at a completely different angle. I'm going to have some tank treads there. There you go. And that's how we're going to start to build this thing out. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Everybody's saying hello. Antoine Dennison, Dan should be sharing some new pages very soon. I know, I'm in the same boat. I'm going to be doing that too. This is a rich world. I'm super excited for more people to see it. Yeah, isn't it cool? It's like Kevin Costner, who is one of my favorite people. If it was up to me, there would be a network called NBC, and it would be nothing but Costner. But Kevin Costner was talking about how when he reads a script, a good script like Dances with Wolves or any of the movies he's done, one of the biggest things that he says about it is, he said, I feel like I have a secret, and I have a secret to share, and I cannot wait to do it, but it's a special time the first time I read a script. And for me, it's the same thing when I'm working on a comic book. I feel like I've got this great secret, and then I'm going to share that secret with people, and I want it to be great. I want it to be an amazing experience, and that is one of those things. All right, my friend, sleep well, take care, And have a great evening, my friend, and I'll see you soon. Everybody saying goodnight to Aldous. Well done. Yeah. Let's see here. Valerie Leon from Blood of the Mummy's Tomb. Yeah, I have that on Blu-ray. Great flick. Love it. Anytime I can get these things on Blu-ray and get behind the scenes stuff, I love it. Oh, I'm drawing my American Way fan art. Very cool. Gabe will love that. Yeah, absolutely. And again, Gabe, if you're out there, if you're catching this later, I'm sure it's still her birthday there, but happy birthday to your daughter. I hope she's having a great one out in Vegas. We love you, man. So let's see here. Yeah, Kevin is one of the greats still left in Hollywood. Yeah, he is. Costner, Cal State Fullerton alumni. Yes, absolutely. I know that stuff, man. Yeah, I've watched a lot of him talking about his career. And he's one of those people who, in my experience, or in my, in his conversations, you realize he didn't have everything, handed to him. He believes in hard work. He says, I knew how to work. That was my key. And I saw this really great thing where he said, I wasn't the smartest guy on the work site. I wasn't the, I knew I wasn't necessarily the best guy on the work site, but I would get there earlier than everybody else and I would work harder than everybody else. And he said that was kind of his mentality. And I think that that's one of the best mentalities you can have. You do whatever you've got to do, work as hard as you've got to work to make things, to make yourself able to compete and able to earn the success that you get. And I think Kevin Costner has done that. And I think that's one of the things I really admire and respect about him as an artist and as a producer, someone who's made some great stuff, directed some great stuff, really is an icon of American cinema. And that's what makes it so great, Let me see here. Good luck with that, Steve Rockwood. Later, Aldous. Costner throws out the opening pitch. Oh, at the CSUF baseball season. Oh, that's awesome. What an awesome thing to have there. I feel like it's more of a secretion than a secret one, which I'd like to get eyes on or on eyes. Oh, Antoine, you're killing me, man. If I start laughing now, I'll die. So while we sleep, Costner works. Absolutely right. Yeah, absolutely right. Kevin Costner, man. He's a serious dude. He's a serious dude, man. And I love that about him. And he loves America and he loves, telling stories about America and exploring, certain ideas about America. And I think that's really cool. I think one of the best movies, best Westerns that I've seen is Open Range. So if you haven't seen Open Range, it is absolutely worth a look. I mean, it's just a really great flick. Robert Duvall does some outstanding work in it. And yeah, I mean, and they really give him a lot in that movie. Like, he's not just an also-ran. He really, they give him some great dialogue. He does some amazing acting in it because he has a lot to work with. He plays a really great character. Costner and him, Costner, for all of the things that he has accomplished as a movie star, Costner has this gift that is really unique in actors, which is he knows how to support another actor when it's their time to shine. And that's what's great. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Costner's Yellowstone show is kicking ass as well. Really good. Yeah. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He's God, he was great in, what's that? Hatfields and McCoys. He was fantastic in that, and deservedly so, won an award. He did great work. And I don't always believe in awards, but I think that one was justified. Yeah, Russ and Costner did a flick. Oh, really? Nice. Yeah. I love that stuff, man. Yeah, Costner, killed it on Hatfields and McCoy. Yeah, I mean, geez Louise. I love the line when he goes, what does he say? He goes, that part where he goes, "You don't cut them boards until I tell you to cut them boards." That's one of the great sequences ever. Man, I love that one. Dan Plagle says, I live in Fullerton. He used to work at Disneyland with my mom, and he played Peter Pan in the park back in the day before he was acting. Dang, that's awesome. Yeah, Costner has great timing. He has really great timing. And he says that he goes, he's a slow reader. And he often, I remember he said on Inside the Actor Studio, and I love to watch his Inside the Actor Studio because him and I, like on those answers, the Bernard Pivot, I think it was answers. I don't know what was the name of the guy. I'm totally blanking. But anyway, to the questions, he guy's a famous director. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. But anyway, he did what do you call it? Oh, we have very similar answers. Like for one of his answers, they said, "What sound do you most hate?" Oh yeah, 3,000 Miles to Graceland was great, and he was talking about that movie on his Inside the Actor Studio because it was about to be released or had just been released. And I will tell you this, man. He said on there, one of the sound he hates the most is the one I hate the most, which he goes, the sound this clunk sound that that you hear when your kids fall and they get hurt bad. And I went, oh man, spoken like a true dad. And he goes, I hate that sound. And I was like, oh man, I hate that sound. But he just talks about, the things that he'd like to do and the things that he's passionate about when it comes to acting. And, he tries to treat people fairly. And that seems to be something that most people would say about him. And I love that about him. He's a good dude, man. He's a good dude. Let's see if I can. There we go. Just roughing in some of these shadows. I mean, this is the great thing about Comicsgate to me. And it's like, I know that, Nosfero, when Nosfero comes out and when that book is in your hands, and it certainly as it's coming out onto the page in terms of seeing the paintings as they happen, I know it's going to be a great book. But what's also cool to me is getting to, and approaching Comicsgate from a standpoint of let's put, these characters that we're creating, let's all, kind of do fun things to support them. And that's why I do these sketches. I think that Rob is a really, valuable member of CG. And I think he cares a lot about, getting the word out, like his videos he's just been doing. If you're not subscribed to Rob Arnold's channel, if any of the mods could throw it in the chat, if any of my wrenches could do that for me, I'd appreciate it. But he's one of those cats that it's like, he sort of says, if you're coming into CG and you're not sure what it is and you want to get into this crowdfunding thing, he is kind of creating videos that break things down and are very easy to understand sort of way. And that's the thing that I think is always beneficial to us as a group. 3,000 Miles to Graceland, man. Absolutely great stuff. Lord Crackhead 33. I have to watch more, but I thought the structure seems predictable. There you go. It starts to get really good. Basically, Godfather on a ranch. Oh, we're talking about Yellowstone. But it's Costner and Cole Hauser's performance that steal it for me. Yeah, there you go. Sometimes people act amazingly well. Subscribe to Rob. There you have it. There we go. Hi, Sean. I'm trying to figure out why I don't see that red on-air icon in my YouTube subscription column on your live. Any ideas? I don't know. I don't know why. And you're welcome to come on, Dan. I sent you the link. So if you feel like popping on and saying hello, feel free to pop in, man. And we can talk about whether or not you used to go and eat at Mr. C's. Grab some of those flatbread pizzas that they had there at Mr. C's. That's what it's all about, guys. That's what it's all about. But yeah, I mean, I love that stuff. Yeah, I don't know why it does that. I sometimes you have to, if you ring the bell for notifications, I know it's like we all say on our streams, but sometimes that works. But YouTube's been doing some weird stuff. For example, I haven't been able to turn off and keep off the auto play button on my YouTube. And that's been kind of interesting to see. And I know they do that every now and again. But yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Hello. Yeah. Hello. How to Draw Comics by Dan Lawless, man. Talk about doing some killer work. Antoine. Yeah, I only saw the finale in January, so I don't want to be too harsh. Yeah, there you go. Let's see here. Billy saying, any reason why Dan Plagle won't offer the original Goblin Girl comic to backers outside the U.S.? I'm not sure what that is. Offer the original Goblin Girl comic. I don't know what that one means. Yeah, YouTube is notoriously bad with stuff like that lately. Yes, they are. And yeah, John. Hi, John. Yeah, there you go, Dan. Same here with autoplay. Very annoying. Yeah, because you know what they're doing. They're just trying to rack up views so they can tell their advertisers, hey, look at us. We're great at getting people views. The problem with it is that I think it's annoying. And it's a very interesting thing. I don't want, when I'm doing stuff, and this is what annoyed me about Instagram. This is what annoys me about a lot of those platforms. I don't want to think that things are going well. I want to know if they're going well or not. That's the only way to adjust your strategy. And the more opaque they make that process by artificially inflating or deflating things, the less information you have on how things are actually going. And it's almost like a bizarre thing, because I can't believe that these advertisers are don't have people who are smart enough to know their numbers are being messed with. And it's almost as if the attitude is is they're spending money on different platforms to tell them to lie to them, which is weird. I just don't think that's the case, because sooner or later you got to see the money coming in. But who knows? I don't know exactly how all of that stuff works, but we'll see. Yeah, what's up, J-Bot? It's good to see you, my friend. I just missed you. I looked down for 2 seconds, and there we go. It's good to see you, my friend. Yeah, you should be able to add the original issue in the add-on section. There you go. Once you choose which regular perk you'd like. So there you go. So yeah, let us know how that's going, because we want Goblin Girl is sort of from the same class, so to speak, as Nosfero launched on. And so we've talked about this before, but it's always good to see the people that you launch with doing well and doing cool stuff, and they certainly are. So it's and it was so, like I said, I know I've said this before, but it was so fun to do the closeout stream on this channel. And that's really what it's all about. It's about, it's about us creating cool stuff and getting the word out. I mean, when I see all of the books that are coming out and all of the people that are in CG right now, I'm filled with pride and I'm super inspired by it. I think that's the thing that is that makes it so fun, for us doing this work, is that I look at the work, like we were talking about, the really amazing work that Dale Keown has been doing in Comicsgate. And we were talking about, like, well, where are all these artists? It's wild. Like, why are they here in CG? And I think it's, I can't speak for them, and they certainly don't need me to. But I think with a lot of artists like myself, I was invigorated by seeing what was happening in Comicsgate, to the point where it really informed the 2 art books I did. And now, it's absolutely the reason why I'm doing this comic, is because I've loved comics passionately, but I was not going to get back into it when I couldn't create my own stuff and do it the way that makes any kind of sense. That's the craziest part about it, guys. Comics has to make sense both financially and creatively. And it's what you have to do to get your ideas out there, that someone could, make it so difficult for you to get your ideas out there and want to art direct you at even an indie publisher, and then still have you not make any money. It's not the same thing as crowdfunding. Crowdfunding, you can make money for as much interest as you can drum up, and as much, as you can make the book happen. And you guys have shown that here over and over and over again. Comicsgate, backers, and I am one myself, have been backing books and showing people that independent comics can make money, and they can make money on their own terms, and that we can get really beautiful books out of it. Because at the end of the day, we're how many years into this? And if books weren't coming out, none of us would be backing. Like, that's just the way it is. And that's what I love about CG. And so when I'm looking at Nosfero, I envision that book. That's my drive, All right, Jay Lee. Hey, listen, man, have a great night and get a good night's sleep, and have a great day tomorrow, my friend. And I will see you soon. Okay. Take care, boss. All right. Let's see what else we've got here. Let's see. And probably says, I tried several times and it doesn't work. I still haven't backed it yet for this reason. Okay. Well, we'll look into that. I have a feeling that, let me see here. And Dan is saying the original Goblin Girl should be available as an add-on during checkout. So yeah, I mean, those are right from the horse's mouth right there. Everybody say goodnight to Jay. Jay, it's great having you here. Author extraordinaire. Check out his books, The Steins, on Amazon. Very cool. I have my copy sitting, I think it's over here somewhere, next to my artwork. So there you go. I have my copy right here, or I should say, I have my copy right here. Do check out that book. It is available on Amazon. So let's see what else we've got here. Oh, and check your Twitter. Is that to me? Check my Twitter? Okay. I'm gonna see if I can let's see if I can figure this out here. Okay. Let me see. Okay, I'm looking. I'm a looking. Okay, see, I am looking. Oh, cool. Oh, that's nice. Thank you, guys. Oh, that's awesome. I appreciate that. You guys are awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Well, so, and this is the biggest thing, when we're doing this stuff, yeah, and probably DM Boob Dan, we can get you sorted out if we have to add it to your order manually. There you go, guys. I tell you what, CG is customer service in action. It really is customer service, creativity, and fandom and pulp in action. And that's what it's all about. Yeah, everybody's saying good night, Jay. Lots of love for the man in the house, man. There you go. And we're going to get that sorted for you. We want you to have a Goblin Girl. And we want you guys to all get the books that you're after. And we're trying to figure out the best ways we can do it in really crazy times. I know, but we're getting there. It's like for all of the resources and distribution. Yeah, we do have the best customer service. For all of the resources and distribution that the mainstream industry has. Yeah, exactly. Customer gratitude. We appreciate that. Absolutely. Yeah, CG has the best customer service. And what I will tell you is that for all of the distribution resources that these multinational companies and these publishers have that they've established over decades, they can't seem to make a product that we want to get. And when they do, we show up. I'll agree with Aldous on this, that when I see a good book come out, if it's from the mainstream, I do not have I hate the mainstream, blah, blah, blah. Like if IDW releases an artist edition of some book that I'm in love with or some incredible work, I'm going to get it. You know what I mean? Like I got the Punisher omnibus that came out from Marvel, so I could get all those Mike Zeck books and all of the origin stuff on the Punisher, because those books mean a lot to me. And the same thing goes with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles artist edition and all that stuff. But the thing is, when it comes to stories and when it comes to feeling like comics can do anything, I don't feel that when I look at comics. I feel like comics can only do, frankly, it's like writing a syllabus in academia. Like there's so much bullshit that you have to hurdles you have to go through, that by the time it comes out the other side, it's got no soul left in it. It's like, creativity by committee. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's great. Sometimes it's like the way the messages work. It's so incredibly, can be complicated, but I'm so glad that, like I said, you come to these streams and you send people messages on Twitter. So much great stuff, man. So much great stuff. Yeah. The customers are number one. And, it's funny too. I had a friend of mine who worked in entertainment who I did some concept artwork for. I think it was for DreamWorks Consumer Products back in the day. And then we did some stuff for Mattel on a project. And his rule of thumb was, he said R&R. And I was like, what does R&R mean? It's not rest and relaxation, is it? And he goes, nah, man. He's like, relentlessly respectful. That is the attitude, and if you can do it, it'll happen. It's the gratitude attitude makes all the difference. The badass creators help too. Yeah. This is the other thing. Let me be clear, people. Okay. Always hear silly bus. Yeah. It is the silly bus. Let me be really clear about that. That is the most accurate description of it. But this is the thing about it too. If Dale Keown singled me out and said I was a terrible person, I would still buy a Pit omnibus from him. So, there's problems sometimes. Sometimes there's problems. I know that one of my artist heroes, to put it mildly, the person who inspired me to draw my first black and white, my very first comic, which was black and white, probably around, I don't know if it was around Noah, how old were you when you drew your first comic? Because I know you've got like 16 or so of them, but I was wondering what age you were, because I drew my first comic book when I was 14, my first 22 page, and printed it, stapled, bound it. Comic, and it was influenced by Tim Vigil, and so Tim Vigil inspired me big time, and I love his stuff, and I will buy his Faust collected trade paperback come hell or high water. But I'm such a big Tim Vigil fan that, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is true. I posted this on Twitter today. 35 years ago, I saw this comic advertised, Nightmaster. It was a comic book that Tim Vigil did the artwork on the inside of it, and it's got this really awesome detailed cover piece by Tim Vigil, and I was never able to get it as a kid. And I look for it on eBay all the time. Sometimes one comes up and I miss it. But 35 years later, this comic book that's been traveling through time, this is what I love about comics, finally got to me. And I finally got this comic book. And that is what my love of comics does for me. So when we talk about CG books, I don't know how many issues Nightmaster had. I know this issue was a little bit of a rush job for Tim Vigil. But let me tell you something. My connection to indie comics goes so deep that an indie comic book, I don't know if it mattered to a lot of people. I don't know if Nightmaster changed any lives, but it mattered enough to me for me to hunt it down 35 years later. And I'm glad there were enough comic book copies that were put out by Silver Wolf Comics that I could get one. So when I think about Comicsgate books with print runs in the thousands, I just think, man, if I'm somebody who misses out on a Comicsgate book and I'm like thinking later and like, oh man, I want to get that book, whew, that hill's going to be tough to climb, because I do have this feeling that, people who are buying these books really love them. I can't imagine selling any of my CG books, but that's just me. All right, NTM Comics Noah says the first comic that I properly printed, I was 13 or 14 when I drew it. Very cool. Yeah, I was about the same age, probably a little bit older. Would have been Keowned. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I drew my first comic at 12, a 16-pager called Jack and Rodriguez. Oh my God. Two cops talking about, oh, there's the man. Hang on a second. We got a guest here. Two cops taking on the supernatural. Antoine, that's awesome. I want to see it. We have a guest here with us. What's up, my friend?
Hang on a second.
Oh, coming back. Hold on. We got to get some other things set up. Dan will be right back, people. Outlaw Comics. Yeah, absolutely. I love Outlaw Comics, Drawn Sword Graphics. And it's great to see you, Drawn Sword Graphics, by the way. Let's see here. Nightmare is great. I think it's is great. Now you need to get issue 2. That's true. I do. Oh God, it's going to take me forever to get all these things. Antoine Dennison. I bought a Keown Hulk sketch on EVS's stream a few months back. Anyone interested in buying? Ooh, there you go. Nightmaster. Yeah, I figured I knew what you meant there. Yeah, love Nightmaster. In my opinion, you are just now getting a grasp of what was the end of the 1980s. To me, it was well beyond that. Now, the committee now swallows edicts. Yeah, you're absolutely right. What is up, Dan? How you doing, man?
We are experiencing technical difficulties.
Oh, that's fine. I'm always experiencing technical difficulties. Mine are inside of my skull usually, but you know how it is, man.
That's where mine were, coincidentally. That's exactly. How you doing, man?
Did you ever go to Mr. C's? That's what I got to know now.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
This is the best.
I have buddies who work there and everything. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, dude. I was thinking about that. Like, I had this flash of that, suddenly, and I was like going, oh, my God. Yeah. For those of you guys who don't know, I love that Phil's like, Dan, and I'm like, Phil, get your ass on here. Let's see, any chance, Sean, for a gaze? I mean, do you mean a gaze or a geese? My 14-year-old comic. Yeah, there's a chance. Yeah, this is Comicsgate. So, Dan, how have you been?
There, huh? When it gets older, you become a geese.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Well, I'm definitely that. Yeah, I'm definitely a geese at this point, man.
I kind of like that name. I'm going with it.
Yeah, we should. We've got this, man. Let me see if I can grab this thing here. Where the heck is it? Oh, here it is. Nice. There we go. All right, guys. I think I've shown this a few times, but, for those of you guys who haven't seen it, here you go. Here we are. This is Phil, stop slacking and get on the stream. Oh, haha, just close the arcade. A likely story. If you really love Dan, you'd be in here. Yeah. So
I agree.
This is let me see if I can get this to work here. Oh gosh. Oh, there we go. Okay. So this right here is me at 14, I think it was, drawing some comic book stuff. And it was cool. Like you were very kind, Dan.
Well, there's line work detail to it. It's kind of cool. It's kind of interesting.
But, and I clearly was watching things like Roadhouse at various points. Yeah.
I think I have some really old stuff.
I love seeing that stuff. I've been pouring through your Instagram, man. It's awesome.
I'm talking about like stuff when I was 12. I'm pretty sure I got.
You got to show that stuff. I was looking at there's a realist painter out of Miami who is his name's Cesar Santos. I don't know if you know his stuff. He does a lot of YouTubing and things like that, but he's really good. And he showed his high school sketchbooks on one stream. And it was really depressing. And I think it's important for us to do that because the stuff was like every high school class artist sketchbook. It was nothing to write home about. And what it basically says to you is you just got to work hard. Do you know what I mean? That's why I think that stuff is so important to show.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
wonder if I still have, in high school, I painted a replica of Frazetta. I think what's the one with the I don't know, that red beast with the beast with the red cape. It's like it was on the first issue.
Gosh. Wasn't it called the Red Cape? What was it called?
No, I forget what it's called, but it's
I know. Okay, hang on a second. Conan was, I know the one you're talking about. Conan. I know it's gonna
anyways, I copied it at about 5x5 sheet of canvas. I blew it up with the you used to do the squares. You do those little you make a little grid on the piece, and then you blew it up really large, and it's kind of it was bold. It of course it sucked, but
oh my gosh, the fact that you were attempting that at that point is kind of incredible to me.
Well, nothing was going to stop me. I just I was too stupid to not know.
you have to do that. Okay, so it's Conan Man-Ape Print is what they're calling it. 1967 on Frazetta Girls. I don't know if that's the book cover it was on, but that's what they're calling the print that his granddaughter and daughter are selling. So I don't know what book it was on, but
it's the one where he's leaping on the guy with the red cape. I mean, it's the big old red cape.
It's basically it's one of those awful Frazetta paintings. I don't know how Frazetta ever slept at night, being a god. So let me see.
What was in his mind? I mean, it's amazing,
I got hold on a second. I got it right here. I'm going to call it up so we can be depressed. I think it's important. It's all part of the process. Whoops. Let me see here. Add to stream. There we go. Yeah, is this the one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, guys, take a look at that right there. And hail Ray Storman. It's good to see you, my friend. And Santos is a great painter. This is the kind of stuff where when I'm looking at, faces, when I'm painting Nosfero or I'm doing something like that, I'm going, man, that's basically my tone of voice. Look at that sick hand and that foot there. I just love how he just puts that down.
And the colors in
Look
everywhere.
Bananas.
But just like the red on his cape, where's that? What's the light source there? He's just making it up.
I think that he had a secret tube of paint and secret brushes. That's the only way it could have been done. I mean, he cheated, really. I heard he looked off of a classmate. Yes. No, seriously. Well, the 14, my wife made that joke. She goes, will the 14-year-old Shanth artwork be available as add-ons? No. I'm sure it'll be available as add-ons over my dead body at some point, which can't be long at this point. But I look at this kind of piece and I look at the stuff that Frazetta does. And the thing for me is that, my studio mate is an amazing illustrator. He did a Conan cover back in the day, huge Frazetta fan. And the thing about it is that there's this thing about his stuff that it's how do you speak about Frazetta without using every cliche everyone else uses, but it just feels like it hits you like a ton of bricks. It's like bang,
everything's alive in it.
Yeah,
everything. The foliage. I mean, it breathes life.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think a lot of people miss out when they try to draw great barbarian stuff.
Yeah,
and they get you see the Conan with the severed limbs and the bunch of heads and stuff. And Frazetta really, he would draw that point right before in the middle of the action.
Yeah,
before it became disgusting. You know what I mean? Like the guy's ready to hit somebody, but it was kind of, that's his thing, is it's the life, it's the thing happening. It's not the end. A lot of people draw the end where everything's a bloody mess.
I hear people saying that all the time, Antoine. You're absolutely right. That poor ape creature just got out of bed with the covers on. Yeah, it's right. In order to turn up that's right, the thermostat. Like he just woke up, went to go turn up the thermostat, and that's what happened. It's really Conan. I believe the book was called Conan: The Home Invasion Story. But the thing about it is that I think it was that the sculptor who does all these realistic Universal monsters, Mike Hill, He also did design the face for the creature in The Shape of Water. He's always said that he tries to sculpt when he does Boris Karloff or Bela Lugosi or any of these famous actors. He tries to grab that moment, either just after or before they're about to say something, and which is one that he can do it photorealistically, incredible. And then the Shiflett brothers said, we want our sculptures to look like the sculptor just got up to take a break from sculpting to go grab something. And I thought, dang, I love when people describe things that way. I can't imagine pulling it off, but it's amazing,
By the way, the way your camera's set up, your head is on the body of that thing you're drawing.
This is the way I do it. See, look at this.
Man, you didn't skip leg day, did you?
I did. Totally skipped leg day. I skipped. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can do that here. I skipped brain day. Is the day I skipped. Hang on a second here. Come on. There we go. By the way, OBS is Phil gave me this great idea. Phil Diaz of Zaid Comics gave me this great idea to do the virtual camera setup so that in StreamYard I can do the 2-camera shot. So it basically, you build a 2-camera setup in StreamYard, and then it's that virtual camera you can bring on. And I didn't know a thing about that. And I was like, oh, wow, that works great. I'll try that out.
It makes for a cool stream. It really does.
Yeah, it's like, it's weird, It's tough to get used to, but you're probably streaming now, are you?
What? No, I'm not.
Oh, we're going to get you streaming. That's what we got to do. But you're welcome on here anytime, man. I'll be sending you the links. So whenever you want to come on and do stuff. But yeah, your Instagram, man.
Hey, last time I was here, we were talking about Philip Drouet, or what, I'm not sure how to say his name.
Oh, Philippe Drouet. I don't have to pronounce it either. We'll pretend we got it right.
So I pulled a file of mine and I can share it if you want. But
oh yeah, man.
Let's see.
Oh wow, awesome tattoo of Death Dealer on your leg there, Ray Storman. There you go. Oh, the tat sucked though. Oh, sorry about that, man. Antoine, the Shiflett brothers did some incredible studies. Their Juggernaut looked like he had his. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they do some killer Conan stuff, and they were hugely influenced by Frazetta and Rodin. See if I've got here. Oh, cool. Yeah, here we go, guys. Yeah, you guys are getting some art geeking out here, and that's what we do. So let's add to stream. There you go, man.
I don't know if the the younger generation really knows of these guys even.
Yeah,
it's like, no, I think I saw this stuff first in Epic Illustrated. I'm sure it's. I'm obviously they're he's a French artist, but.
Do you know I introduced all my college students when I used to teach college to his stuff through the Mobius Redux or Rita documentary? They would show him. They would talk about the founding of heavy metal. And so they would show all of those guys, and they had him in his studio with those. The drawings are enormous, as you know.
I didn't know that.
Oh my God. Yeah. They said the first time they met, and I think there's a great art book that they have of his, but the first time they met, people don't know he does these giant drawings, and he brought a bunch of drawings to this art hangout session that Mobius and the guys were at, and he was pitching the idea of heavy metal with them. And then he goes, let me show you my drawings. And he had put them on the hood of a car. They were just huge. And they were like, this is insane. And yeah, and they're incredible. Absolutely.
Well, now
incredible.
I can see how he gets that detail, obviously, when you reduce it down like that.
Yeah, that and being a genius savant,
man, this,
right?
this is the one that blows me away. Yeah. I just thought this one was so cool.
My gosh.
This image of this group of people crucifying dragons. It's a crucified dragon.
Yeah.
My goodness, it's insane,
He saw Frazetta's and he was like, I see you and I raise you. And by the way, John says, huge. Yeah, absolutely. They're huge. Yeah, Waffle Lodge is a safe space for geeking out, the good kind of safe space. Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, we've got Antoine Dennison. The doctor is in the house saying, is it Kaza? I can never pronounce it right. Juliet, CRYPT, or CRYPT, is that it? And then Serpieri, of course. Serpieri stuff is crazy, man. Yeah, but that is some badass stuff.
Man, Meadow Hurlat. Was it?
Yeah.
Wasn't it the thinking of the
the French the French edition. Like I have, granted, it's not the is it within usually I have these things within throwing distance, but where is it? Oh, my paper is like about to fall over here, but that's all right. Because we're talking about books. But I used to have right over here somewhere. I had my copy of the collected. I have the. Oh wait, is that? Oh, here we go. For those of you guys who don't know, these are the stories broken out of their way.
Ours are.
Yeah, I've got the I got this edition of this. Hold on, let me see if I can figure this out. I'm gonna switch the screen up just for a sec here. Let me move this over here. Does that work? No, it's not gonna work. Hang on. I gotta do, oh, for heaven's sake. All right, hang on a second. I'm gonna remove this for a second, and then I'm gonna do this. This might be the trick. And then so this is, I forget what edition it is. It's from a couple of years ago, but I got the complete like not complete because he did so many pieces, but 5 books of Mobius things, or Mobius books, and so it has Airtight Garage. It has a couple of the other ones.
Was that the because I remember I have a like a 5-part edition or something like that too.
Yes.
And it was it Epic that
I think this was a French edition. So I think this was this Humanoids? Yeah, I think this was
that's the one I have. But it's a paperback, version.
Oh yeah, this is like a hardcover.
Yep.
And this is the stuff that I saw, like the R. Crumb influence on his stuff. That was just like, which I didn't know at the time, but was just so.
I just love that wordless storytelling. It's so cool.
Yeah, that shot right there. I remember seeing that. If people want to know what the big influence was, probably want to stream snipe EVS for a hot minute, Sean. Why is that? What's he up to? Oh dear God, is it something terrifying? I don't. Let me just see what's happening. Subscriptions. Oh my God. No, I can't deal with that.
What is it? I'm curious now.
Oh my God. All right, hang on a second here. Oh my Lord. All right, hang on. Hang on a second. Damn it, Ethan. All right, hang on a second. We're gonna make this happen. This is probably not gonna work, but I'm gonna stream snipe for just a second. I love the I love the chat. Chat is amazing. Holy Lord. All right, so okay, this is taking me a second here. It was just a reaction. There we go. I'm gonna see if I can share this and add this to the stream. There we go.
Yeah.
Ethan just went for it. He just shaved his head. There you go. Looks sharp, actually.
Actually, it does look kind of cool, doesn't it?
I love that the stream's called I Shaved My Head. Keep it simple, folks.
I thought it was one of those apps or something, like, because oh my gosh, I have an app. I have a picture of myself with one of those apps, and it made me bald. It was so funny.
Oh my gosh, Ethan he went for it. See, that is how you attract an audience. I love Angela Curry. What the hell? There you go. Oh God,
he looks like a Viking now or something.
Yeah, he is a Viking. I think this is the full emergence. He did not shave his eyebrows. Oh my God.
Man, that guy. Oh man.
He's the man. So now this is getting very meta. Is he stream sniping himself? This is getting complicated. I love that Psycho poster. All right, now we're doing an audio commentary of Ethan. Okay, I know we better. He's gotta have his.
Yeah, what goes around comes around. So
what goes around comes. That's right. No, he'll go. Look, Sean's fattened his head. And then that'll be it. That's what he's gonna say about me. But no, this stuff is, guys. This is the thing. This is Metal Erlang. This is what is possible when a bunch of knuckleheads get together and say, "Let's go creative, balls to the wall." And that's why I love that section of the documentary. Look at that, guys.
Look at these guys. I remember just how these two guys made an impression upon me when I was younger, because they were just so weird,
Yeah.
It's like, where do you think of that? Just the grinning faces and even the way it's colored. It's nutty.
Yeah, it is nutty. It's crazy.
But now that you mentioned that they're big, now I can understand that detail, because that's one of the things I thought was incredible. Like, oh wow, look at that! You must have a good pen, really, to get that get small little detail.
Well, I mean, and I think that's one of the things with these guys, with these artists, is that I remember looking at Charles Dana Gibson's working process, And he had these nibs he'd make. They were just gigantic. Like he would like cut down these nibs and have these huge like sticks with nibs on the end of it he would draw with. And it explains so much, but this, I mean, you've got to be a beast to do stuff that scale. And
I never even thought of that. I wonder what that'd be like to draw really large and then reduce it down.
I don't know, man. You've got a lot of amazing stuff going on. So here's
another one that just blew my mind. It's like, look at that whole. I mean, there's so many people in there.
Actually, I titled that piece. I don't know if you know this. It's called "Fuck Out of Here." I mean, seriously, man. Leave some like. I was on a stream that I thought was Eric Weathers was kind enough to have me on a stream, and oh yeah, I know. Drulier did a story called "Vuz" that was just heartbreaking. Yeah, there's also the story he did about losing his wife very young. There's some that stuff's amazing. But I'm gonna tell you this: someone on the stream I was on was Eric Weathers stream. They go, how cool would you wish that you could have Dale Keown do a cover for you on one of your books? And I'm like going, why would I want to see Dale Keown draw my character? I could never draw it again. I'd be like, well, Dale could probably do something great with this.
It wouldn't be a good match though. It wouldn't. It wouldn't.
Yeah.
It's like they're totally different styles. It'd be interesting.
I agree. You're right. I would probably take a match to my stuff after. No, no, but it's what it is. It's so funny. There are artists, heroes that influenced me at various points, and one of my artist heroes actually is doing a cover for a friend of mine's books, Dan Plagle. And it's Tim Vigil, and that's someone I'd love to get. Like, there's certain people that are like bucket list, artists I'd love to see, do the character. And can you imagine having somebody like this do a piece for you?
Oh my gosh!
I mean, my God, what a
what's amazing? Okay, you got all the detail in this thing, but then there's just the imagination of the buildings themselves that are just completely bizarre. That these long, like tusks, elephant tusks practically shaped, but then he makes it work. You got this massive staircase here. Incredible.
Yeah. I mean, it's what happens when artists get together and say everything is possible. You know what I mean? Like, you can do, we're not going to put any limits. That is what Comicsgate is. And people were talking about why so many pros. What is on the menu tonight? Waffles are on the menu. We must have waffles forthwith, so that we can all think to the best of our abilities. And Mighty Geek Studios, hail to you, my friend. And the menu is Philippe Druillet. If I'm butchering his name, I apologize. I'm only saying it wrong because I'm not worthy. Yeah, it's just amazing stuff. And we're talking about how this is the kind of thing that can happen in Comicsgate. It's not anything that will just happen on its own, but it's the kind of thing that is able to happen.
Yeah, that's my question is, where are the artists like this today? Where are they? Where are the comic books that with this kind of stuff in it?
You got this, dog. That's where we're at. Make it happen, Dan. That's the key.
It's like, but I got to make my own stuff. I got to make my own cool stuff. Gee whiz.
Yeah, well, that's why I know you, dude. I've seen your stuff. It's like we're all at that point, right? Aren't we? Where someone was saying this. It was one of the best. Oh, let me see here. Philippe Druillet. Oh, there you go.
Philippe Druillet.
Antoine for the win, of course. Antoine is the doctor is in the house. That's what we were talking about. Channel names for Antoine, and I think that's a good one. I have to buy those books online now. The local comic shop I used to get European artist books stopped carrying them. Yeah, and what's so funny is that I know there's an art of book that they came out with his a couple of years ago, and I always think about this stuff is that when they made that hilarious claim, and it's been beaten to death about when artists come to CG, is it me or does their work? I mean, that's like telling yourself, if you dated, Elle Macpherson in the 8th grade, and then you see her, at 20 and go, is it me or since we stopped dating, has she gotten ugly? Like, it's one of those tragic, self-love.
Well, who's saying it? I mean, that's
exactly.
It's probably the competition,
Yeah, and I go, the reality is that people are dialing this stuff up, or their artwork up, because they've got all these skills they've honed over a lifetime, And they're in the freest environment, direct to consumer, that has ever existed in the history of making comics. Short of a photocopier and going with your stuff around, Haight-Ashbury Street, back in the day, in a stroller like R. Crumb did. This is the higher end version of that, where you can raise enough money to produce and reproduce well artwork like this. That is, can you zoom on that one? That is barking. That is barking. Yep, it's true. Yeah, exactly. Look at, that is, what the hell, Philippe?
Yeah. What's going on in this guy's mind? Did he imagine this? And
he must have. He
as-
must have.
I mean,
held
I
that.
mean,
By the
I
way,
mean,
that's
did he
a
have
kick-ass
did he have a
signature.
did he have a vision of it? Because sometimes when I'm drawing, I don't really know what I'm drawing. I'll just
I
start
don't either.
sketching and something kind of forms itself on the page. I'm not one of those artists that has a vision and just like Bernie would Wrightson would say he had an opaque projector and you just sort of flash down the page and trace the image in his head that he sees. I'm not like that. I don't know. I gotta have a vague idea, and then it seems like I'm always surprised at the end, like, oh, this is not that bad,
Yeah. I mean, well, I think there is. And I think that's the kind of thing about it, it's like there is a romance to what's going on in the work. And I think that there's this idea of daring, of reaching, as an artist, where you're saying to yourself, I'm going to try to do something that is beyond what I think is possible, or beyond what I think I'm capable of, but what I know is certainly possible. Like when you look at that, I think that the more imaginative artwork that you see, the better you dream, because you start to realize like what's possible. And
right. I think it's a springboard. You sort of, or your leapfrog or something like that, where you build off of it. Because what I try to do is I look at everything that's great out there, and then say, okay, where can I go from here? Because I don't want to just give people the same stuff. I want to give them something new and different and interesting, and do a little work. I think it's work to sort of look at where, see what's out there and bother to see what's out there, and then go, okay, maybe how it is too. You take up, when you're a beginning artist, you use a little bit of each artist that you like, and you pick parts of it, and it sort of forms a new way of drawing. So I mean everybody does that, I think. So
yeah, I mean, and it's, you're looking at this stuff too, and it's like it's true, Antoine, we are in the initial phase. People will inevitably start to show works of true personal expression. Well, let's also add this to it. These guys, the reason we're still talking about these cats is because they threw it down to a degree that everyone has the opportunity to do, work, of this caliber, in terms of like because once they did it, they broke the walls down. It's just, you have to push yourself to this insane level that very few people go to. And that's our guy, Jeremy Lord Crackhead 33. Hail to you, brother. My New England brother from another mother. He was posting while they sleep, we work today on Twitter. I appreciated that, man. But look at that. I mean, guys, look at the scope. Yes, drawn sword graphics. Those ancient structures and those cities are breathtaking. And this is the crazy thing, right? God, just keep zooming in. I mean, look at that little corridor back there underneath all that. Did you see what I mean? Like that little downward triangle. Yeah, the stairs
right
back
here.
there.
Oh my gosh,
Holy
I never even noticed
cow.
that. Wow.
Columns, Greek columns in there, it looks like, and stairs. This is insane. Guys, this is the other thing too that people don't understand, that should be in the mainstream. And granted, it's funny. Everything is always in pockets, but on YouTube, it's like it's here for everybody to see these conversations. Holy shit, I look like Tintin. I better put my hat back on. But the thing about it is, I looks like of my hair. But the reason why I used to show so much artwork when I was teaching, and what I love about being able to do it here on YouTube, is because you might see an artist that becomes your parent artist. The artist that people always talk about influences. And I remember first time I heard about parent artist, which is an artist who is in the direction you want to go in, is just beyond your reach, but kind of shows you what's possible.
Right.
And this is like, when you're showing me this, I have big expectations, right, for that project you're going to do.
Hey, what do you suppose this stuff is here? Like little
amazing. I don't know, man. It looks like it's It almost looks like creatures being kept in gladiatorial pens.
Kind of looks like it, doesn't it? Yeah.
And you just go, but it looks like it looks like all of our collective fever dreams. And how did he see into all of our collective subconscious? It looks like Jung's Red Book if it was a bande dessinée. I mean, it's insane.
But it looks like he's thinking through what this whole society does.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
that's what's crazy about it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's like, and you know, there's an insane amount of detail. Yeah, Jeremy
This
loves
one's
that
really
detail.
blurry, but
Yeah, that one. That's the thing. You can zoom in. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, shoot. You know,
you can't really see. But you get the idea, you know.
he creates. This is the thing, guys. As an artist, there's this thing that I think it was Kurosawa who said it, but I'm not positive. But the idea that as a filmmaker and as a creator, he was trying to, you know, create an immaculate reality. And I think that that's really what it is. You know, it's this reality you go into that feels completely seamless and whole, even though it's completely, you know, idiosyncratic and imaginative. You know, yeah, Mighty Geek Studios, amen. Yeah, Sean had a Rob Hawk moment for a moment. There you go. There it is. There's my Rob Hawk, my central hair clinging on for dear life. That's how it is. I love the color palette as well. Almost get a Roquefort vibe. Yeah, and Roquefort is definitely someone who I think is in this vibe. It's not as well, actually, that's tough to say. I don't want to say anything until I get the book.
See, what
Kenneth's
are
awesome.
these guys doing here?
I don't know.
Like, it looks like he's a surveyor. He looks like he's doing a survey or something, doesn't it?
I feel like this is like a Seinfeld episode where we're looking out the window. What the fuck is this guy doing down here? You know, he's never going to get into that space. you know what I mean?
And why does this guy get a seat on that nice?
I know.
It is go for a ride.
Ridiculous.
All these tough guys going to walk. What the heck?
Yeah, personal collection of dinosaurs and mammoths, I think. Yeah, that was a good call right there for that pen. But look at that building, man. Look at the stonework. I love stonework like that in art, man. Love it.
Yeah, and let me zoom in. You have to see the detail on the top of it. You know, and another thing, this isn't just line work. The coloring of these things are really interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, who would color that blue? If I was coloring that, would I color that blue? No way. You know.
Well, and that's the crazy thing, though, right? That is why, you know, we have so many art books around us so that we think of those things.
Yeah.
Because to me,
maybe you would have because you got a lot of color in your work, but
well, dude, I tell you this, man, it's like I sit down and I don't even know how to describe, like, when I paint, I try to push the colors off of a cliff and then dig my way out of it, you know, problem. And it helps me, it helps me to think, to push stuff, but I still have to break out the books and I still got to look at this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, because otherwise, like, there's a wall of stuff across, you know, for me right now. And it's concept art books. It's some classic comic books, you know, it's pulp books. It's all that stuff. But I love the color palettes of some of those, you know, the Italian horror, you know, magazine cover artists, you know, there's a book called a series of books called Sex and Horror by Guerrero Press in England. And the Hammer horror, you know, color lighting palette by, God, I forget what his name was, the cinematographer, Jack. It's gone. I can't.
Have you ever noticed, like when I'll do sometimes, I'll pull out a Frazetta book and I'll flip through it before I work, and there's some kind of absorption that happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it almost kicks up my game or something. I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. Do you get some weird vibes from them? I'm not sure, but the vision, maybe the boldness, you get inspired. I don't know.
No, I mean, I absolutely I think that's very true. I keep a lot of artwork around me to look at and just to get inspiration from. Like, I did a piece that is, with the addition of the bat anyway, is very much like a Frazetta Dracula piece. And I can't show the whole piece because it's a commission for an Arwal's book. But let me see if I can get this on screen by switching cameras. Hang on a second here. I love this setup. I'm finally getting better at it. But if you look at this bat in frame, the colors in it were absurd, you know, but the whole idea of it was the shape forms and, you know, and the green, you know, little trailing that's going on underneath it. It's like a simple red green, you know, kind of thing, but a little more minty. But those are the things that, for me, when I look at someone who's really pushing their color, I'm always looking at it from a standpoint of, you know, I don't need to be afraid to push it off a cliff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I look at that, and that's just, I don't know how many cliffs. That's off the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, but I mean that bat you just showed me, that's design.
Yeah,
It's it's all those little pieces of the bat's wing, being different kind of tones and shapes, pulling it all together makes for an interesting piece of artwork that like for someone like me, basic kind of like a realist type, I just sort of approach it as, okay, I'm just going to render this real. That's interesting to me. That's why I like Roquefort's work, and that's because it's different than mine. And I kind of get a kick out of that when I run into artists who just do something very, very different, approach things very, very different, and I'm entertained because I don't do that, and I don't know how to do it.
Isn't that such a funny thing, right? I think that's something that a lot of people have lost sight of, who are who've been coming out of the institutions, and I'm saying that from being there for so long. Yeah, mint guano. I love that, John. It's what it is. But it's this is the crazy thing about it, right? We got Dan Plagle, the man behind the Goblin Girl, is asking, what book is this from? Do we know what book it's from, or is it just a collection of his stuff?
I found the stuff. Book that I have this stuff in is Epic Illustrated. I don't know what issue. I had to dig it up, but I just pulled this off the internet because I couldn't. To find it is easier on the internet than it is in my book collection.
I know what you mean. Because but I look at this sort of stuff and I think like a lot of people think, for whatever reason, that artists who are, that artists want to look at work that looks like their own stuff, which is really weird because it's quite the opposite for me. Like I'm one of those people who I want to look at people doing things that I wouldn't think to do. So when you look at, I don't know, when you look at all of the different, great, artwork books out there and artists and Comicscape, to me, that's the joy of it all.
Yeah.
What I mean?
For me, there's different kinds of I'm looking at Frazetta because I want to try to, learn some of the things and kind of copy some of the good points and stuff. But for someone like Roquefort or yourself, I'm not looking to copy. I'm just enjoying it as a fan.
That's right.
So there's different kinds of inspiration. Sometimes I just like just to be a fan and just look at cool art.
Yeah. Dan, I just posted, I think it's book 5 in the collection of his stuff. He's done a lot of work. So that there's a wormhole for you, a rabbit hole for you to go down there.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, but it's from Lone Slum. There you go. I think that might even be, that's not the one I sent. I sent the link for that.
It's Slambo stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Actually it's got 2 M's in it or something. So if you're looking for it, guys, it's like that's add another M to that Slambo. For some reason I think there's 2 M's in it. I don't know why, but
there's so much great stuff, man. There's like absolutely, like, guys, this is the thing. If we can create, there's a weird thing about this, oh, excellent. There you go. There's a weird thing about the place that we're in right now where people are just like, I think that you would never know what kind of artwork people love and are passionate about, or how broad the range is just looking at their art. I think that's the biggest, mistake people make when they're like, if someone were to ask me, oh, hey, Shanth, what are your influences? I could say, well, Muka was a big influence. Mobius was a big influence. Dave Stevens was a big influence. Muka being probably the overarching one. Corbin is a big influence. But the artist that the 2 artists that hit me when I was young were Tim Vigil and Todd McFarlane. And there's very few people might see Vigil in my stuff, but I don't think a lot of people would see McFarlane unless I said it. And to the fact that we're both fans of this artwork, I'm a huge fan of NC Wyeth's artwork. I'm a huge fan of Guillermo del Toro's, design work. I mean, there's so many books that I love. Frazetta, and obviously, and even James Bama, Dean Cornwell. Like, I go down lists of artists and illustrators that I love. Bernie Wrightson, of course. Mike Kaluta, by that same vein. There's so many amazing artists. But the more that we share them and the more that we show them, I think the more we're going to get better work, because people are going to look at it and go, shit, that's possible. I would never think of having a little ornamental design in my comic book borders. That's the stuff I see that really gets me, Yeah.
Howard Pyle's another guy that I like.
Oh, I love Howard Pyle. Yeah, Howard Pyle is. But I got to tell you this honestly. I love Howard Pyle. I am too stupid to learn anything from Howard Pyle. I really like.
Well,
I can
that's
look at
he's just
NCY,
he's a
and I.
realist. I mean, that's
But man, some of those nasty, freaking beautiful smears he throws down that become incredible. It's like I had a watercolor teacher who was 50 years to the day older than me. We had the same birthday, and a student. He asked the student one time in class, this young lady who was amazing watercolor artist, and he said, "Who are you trying to learn from at this moment?" And she goes, "I'm trying to learn from John Singer Sargent." And he was like, "This no word of a lie." He was like, "No!" And like everyone was like, "What the fuck just happened?" And his name was Tom Segros, and he slammed his fist on the desk, and he goes, "You can't learn from a magician." That's the greatest.
you know what
And then
though. I don't
bust
I
out
don't.
laughing. He meant it tongue in cheek, but it was hilarious. His delivery was great.
I always encourage anybody to copy their favorite artist because
Yeah.
I mean we're looking at I love Mobius, but Mobius copied Hergé and Winsor McKay.
Yeah.
So it's like and Hergé was copying Winsor McKay. So none of those guys look the same.
Well, you've
they're-
seen me stream this week. Look, Dan, I'm not going to move. My legs are planted. Notice the background isn't going to change. I've got, let me switch cameras here. I've got the facsimile editions of the 1010 books.
I know, I
here.
love them. I got the whole set. It's great.
And the great thing about these facsimiles is they're printed on that slightly off-white newsprint that dulls the colors like they were.
Oh
And you
yeah.
can kind of see what the actual coloring. So if you've never gotten a facsimile edition,
Oh,
they
okay.
are sick in terms
Yeah.
of look at how that color looks on the matte paper there that's slightly off-white.
Right.
It just gives it this richness so that by the time, you get to, let me see if I can find Red Rackham's Treasure, which of course, there's a figure statue thing of this. I will own it before I'm dead, but that depends on how much time I have. You never know. But this piece right here from Red Rackham's Treasure is let me see if I can find it here, and you'll know the one I'm talking about. It's it's one of those those insane underwater shipwreck drawings.
Oh yeah, I love that. Yeah,
and it is a sick piece. I mean, look at
Fantastic.
that. I mean, guys, this is what to me this is. I know a lot of people find this kind of stuff inaccessible, but this is the stuff I can get on screen.
And it's not just his art in those books. Those stories are fun. They're real charming. They're they're a lot of fun.
They're just crazy, but it's like, look, this is the definition of fun. And I tell people this, Tintin, Hergé, there's certain things we could say about Hergé. The most important one being he is definitely dead. Okay. There's no doubt about it. And he's still one of the most influential artists working right now, or who's selling work right now, which I should say. His books are never out of print.
Never
Merchandise is always being sold of his stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, Steranko is absolutely.
Yeah. And I don't think it even endorses alcoholism, although it's,
well, it's so funny, right?
Every time he drinks, so much crap happens that you like go. I think
it's a cautionary tale.
Didn't at one point he gave it up because it was just causing so much disaster, and he's I'm done with it. And it's about time. You ruined every situation you were in.
That's the crazy thing about it, right? You when we look at those books, I tell people that it's taking your work as far as it can go is one of those things that doesn't, it's not a shared destination. You know what I mean? And I think everybody who's in CG right now is in CG to push their stuff as far as it can go. And when you're around other inspiring artists, it inspires you. It's not surprising to me that when all these cats got together to do Metal Hurlant, that they all raised their game. If you're sitting next to this guy, you know what I mean? You're going to try to make it happen, man.
Yeah. And why can't you? It's just pencil and paper.
It is. You're absolutely right. And by the way, what you said is absolutely true. We're getting this stuff out there and people are seeing it. But if someone were to do work and bring this influence into their stuff right now, it would probably be responsible, one, for elevating the art form, and two, for getting people back into this stuff and going, where does this come from? Like I found out about so many artists by having contemporary artists talk about their lineage. Dave Stevens was how I got to Wally Wood.
Oh, Dave Stevens stuff is so great, boy.
I love Dave Stevens. He was so nice to me, man. He was such a, I only met him once. He was, I've had several instances where I've met my heroes and they've been great. And Dave Stevens was such a great dude. He's just, he was so kind to me, and I will, I will always appreciate that. What a guy. Look at this stuff though. Beautiful, man.
Yeah. Hey, let me zoom in on this one. I wanted to
please.
this one panel. Back when I was a beginning artist and I'm learning perspective, I thought this was so fascinating how they had this image here of these guys way up, really high up on the wall. And down here, you see all the little people and stuff like that, and the marching armies way in the background and stuff. But just the way he got height and structure in this image.
Can you zoom in on that
let me
panel
zoom in on that a little bit too.
But
I wanted to show the whole thing because it was
because you didn't want us to go to bed at night and feel good about ourselves. I'm kidding.
But
look at the crowd down there, man.
Yeah. So, but the these guys again, these really interesting sort of, what do they look like, guards of some sort, but almost got a religious cap on and that sort of thing.
Yeah, almost like they're holding
but see how that perspective fades into the background. That's that's kind of tough to do, and you got to get a feel for that. When I was first learning perspective, I cut out I took a cardboard board and I cut out a rectangle in it, and I just walked around. I walked around my house. I walked around outside a little bit. It looked crazy, but looking at the perspective and how all the lines of sidewalks fold together and coming together and stuff like that. And I started to get a sense of perspective, and perspective is pretty darn important when you're when you want to get that Jack Kirby, you want that thing to be punching and coming at you. You got to kind of have a sense of perspective because if you do it right, it has a real feel.
No, you're right, and I'm gonna say this too about it is that for me, the one of the best artists in terms of, and it's my favorite. I think I will have to say it's my favorite movie of all time because it just is the one I can defend the easiest. As in terms of if someone pushes me to the wall, I have no trouble defending it as the best movie of all time. Is because it just is to me. Is Lawrence of Arabia, and Lean kind of helped me to think about how far you could pull the camera back.
Right.
Because there's wide shots and then there's the shot of, them riding off to Aqaba and the women in the foreground sitting up on the rocky, hilltop and them in the distance. And you just can't believe you're like going, how did you even direct that?
Yeah.
It's just insane. Absolutely insane.
Well, he was obviously influenced by all the modern design that had sort of hit in the 60s and stuff like that. So
yeah. Absolutely. Then there's like a healthy amount of Jean-Léon Jerome, I feel like, in some of that stuff too. That stuff is crazy good. So much in that panel, Juliet panel arrangements are crazy inventive too.
Hey, the modern thing though that I've just been watching, which is blowing my mind, is have you seen Arcane? The Netflix, the animation on Netflix?
No, I haven't yet.
Oh my gosh, you got to see this. It's
on my list.
Unfreaking believable. It's so incredible.
Yeah.
Every scene is just, but I think there's a lot of animated features that are just extraordinary. Like, did you see? I'm sure you saw Claws. That
I did. It's beautiful.
That was a lesson in color theory.
It was.
In one movie. I mean, there was so much. Just every scene was just just beautifully colored. Incredible.
My two biggest color influences, outside of Frazetta and Mobius and Mucha, the kind of the Czech European, then by way of New York is funny enough is Mary Blair and Ivan Earl and their stuff. Mary Blair could throw muddy colors together better than almost anybody in terms of just raw color. And Ivan Earl just had such a great sense of this kind of austere medieval scenic design, you know, when he did the Sleeping Beauty backgrounds.
Yeah.
But those guys are sick. But yeah, and of course, like there's always a little Hokusai in my stuff. Love that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Antoine, you gotta watch out. Billy's gonna let all the secrets out, man. But it's you know, I agree with what everybody's saying. I mean, you know who I think would get a kick out of this stuff, interestingly enough. I could be very wrong, but I do think that John Malin might be interested in this stuff because I'm thinking about some of the stuff he's doing with Godlike. And I don't know, man. I think he might dig this stuff in a weird sort of composition way, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
By the
Arcane
way,
is the best
you
animated
know,
television show. Someone is Billy's saying right here, in the last 20 years, from visuals to story, it may be the best since Avatar: The Last Airbender or Cowboy Bebop. There you go.
you know, but I'm impressed with some of the Pixar animation, all that kind of stuff. That
Mhm.
I think Moana is an
Yeah.
incredibly beautifully illustrated movie. And
Yeah.
the colors in that extraordinary too.
Yeah.
And then what's the one with the ice lady?
Oh, Frozen.
Frozen, yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
That stuff's really, really good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what's her name? Worked on that. God, her color theory is sick. Lisa Keene. Do you know Lisa Keene stuff?
I don't know. Maybe that doesn't sound familiar, but
Lisa
I
Keene
may have seen it though. You know.
is a background artist. Yeah, you've probably seen it. Lisa Keene is a background artist, and I believe. Oh, there we go. And let me see if I can find this stuff here. Concept art. Oh wow, there you go. Lisa's got some skill, but let me see if I can share this. Hang on a second. I'll remove this for a second, and then we'll see if myself can figure this out. Share screen, Chrome tab, and then where are you? Okay, is this it? Yeah, here we go. So if I can make this work, add to stream. This is an example of some of Lisa Keene's background stuff right here. And then if I can, hold on a second here, let me go back. And then this is her design stuff that she was doing on that flick. And she's got this, you know, crazy sensibility. Yeah. She's really,
I tell you, some of the greatest artists now alive are these concept artists.
yeah.
That stuff is so good.
Lisa goes back to, I'm pretty sure, like, look at that shot
Oh
right
my
there.
God. The lighting is unfreaking believable.
Sick. Yeah. I mean, these are people that they've been, they definitely didn't skip leg day. They didn't skip background day. But look at these tree studies.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, holy cow. And she works in digital, she works in traditional, I always had a joke. Look at that. Great composition. I'd tell my students that I'd walk around the classroom and go, if someone asks you if you do digital or traditional, what is your answer? And they would always go, yes. It was like, that has to be your answer if someone asks you that question. If you don't do both, then
you know what? The medium doesn't make that much difference. It just
it's totally
it makes a difference in what you can do, and sometimes how fast you can do it. You know, sometimes it takes longer to do digital. So
yeah, but I mean, look, this is like, it's the sweet science of composition. The two people that I love
who thinks of moonlight reflecting? I mean, that just, you know, again, it's just extraordinary.
It is. Look at the little, you know,
just
artifacts.
Even that stuff, man. Gee.
Yeah, the stuff that she does when she's coming up with characters, and there was similar stuff. I think actually, let's do Enchanted because this one blew my mind. She designed the pop-up book sequences in that, and I was like, "What? Get out of here!" You know. So she's got some pretty, you know, ridiculous range in terms of like how her brain works and how she thinks. But then she's been in the field for so long. The other person that I always tell people to look at if you want to have your mind blown is an artist by the name of Luc de Marchelier, I think is his name. Again, I could be butchering it. I apologize to Luke, who's not watching this, thank God. He's going to be like, you just murdered my name. But his visual development stuff, he worked on Spirit, Shrek, Hotel Transylvania, and his stuff, hopefully he has a better interface than Lisa does. Well, it's not loading, but here you go. This guy can draw and paint environments, backgrounds, and these were tiny gouache
I'll
studies.
tell you,
These things are tiny.
if you can draw a horse, you're a good artist. Because
You're a good artist.
They're unbelievably difficult things to draw. They just to draw them dynamically, you know.
Look at this. I mean, these are his, and these were tiny. Like these are like a couple inches, maybe
Oh my
2
gosh,
inches.
yeah.
And he's sick. Look at that.
Oh, I
It's
love
just
that.
beautiful.
Man,
And
that's cool.
yeah, I mean, look at the brush. You can tell how small it is from the brush strokes. I mean, it's just like these are dabs of paint. And yeah, I mean, he just knows how to draw and put it together. And so he's another one of those European, artists who, I mean, God, look at that. He just knows how to get it done. So when I was teaching, look at the horses in the clouds. Isn't that sick? I used to say, I used to have my students do master copies of his stuff when I was teaching. I'd say, you do this, you do that, let's take a look at it. And he did, where is it? Spirit Shrek. Hotel Transylvania is another great one just for its concept. But look at this stuff.
Wow.
Man. His stuff that he did on
cool.
that flick is just next level.
All right, send me a link to this guy. I want to see. I want to. I say whenever I see a new artist, I just explore them and I pick out stuff. I think
this person's got to be up your alley, or I don't know you,
absolutely,
man. Yeah. This person would go with us to Mr. C's.
Oh,
there, I said it. Back in the day.
Oh wait, you know what? I gotta just. I was gonna say something and then I forgot. Yeah. Okay, so for a brief period, I lived on Dorthan, which is right one street off of Cook Road, which is where Liggett is. Like you said, you went to Liggett. Like so again,
it is
right there.
Crazy, man. It is crazy stuff. Yeah, that's right. Sound like a doting father to Lisa Keene. Sean, did you teach her? No, I didn't, but I talk that way about my students, definitely. But this is the thing about it for me. When I'm looking at this artwork, my attitude is that whatever we can do to, like, when you see it, it's possible. And if you're an artist worth your salt, when it's possible and it's something that you want to try, you'll do it. And it's so funny. I didn't even think about this till right now, but you make me think of some of my favorite European artists when you draw, which is what was kind of interesting to me. Is I actually didn't think you were from the States when I first saw your stuff, because there's a sensibility like of different regions. Like I was describing to someone that I couldn't. When I first saw, see certain artist stuff, sometimes I'll go, I don't know, like I can't figure out where the artist who draws One Piece is from. And then I found out he liked this, I guess it was a Norwegian cartoon called Vicky and the Vikings, I think it was. And it totally made sense. It was like, oh, because I thought he was from California. And then I went, oh yeah, that's right. So that would be like Japan by way of, Norway gives you Cali.
Yeah. I'm looking at everything. That's the thing. For me, I'll look wherever that when you got the South American artists, you've got, you've got the Hayao Miyazaki and all that stuff. And those films are extraordinary, incredible, there's so many different influences. Of course, that comes in with Frazetta, and then Mobius is so bizarre and completely creative and amazing. And then look at that stuff.
I mean, this stuff has got to be up your alley, man.
It's like... I have just files and files of this stuff. I pull it off the internet all the time, and I just kind of like put it in the mix. Kind of like what. So like what you just said. Think about what you can do. Why limit yourself to something that is being done when you go to a different source, you put a couple things together, and all of a sudden you got something new, and you're bringing something into, like I remember someone was telling me that when they saw Avatar, like, wow, can you believe that those floating pieces of Earth that they were flying around? That this is someone didn't know anything about sci-fi. I'm like, yeah, and that's been done like for a long time.
Yep.
That's not exactly new in the world of fantasy and sci-fi. It's new to them. So that's kind of what you do sometimes. You bring in things of different places and different times and put it in the blender,
Yeah, and actually it's funny as I'm showing this stuff, I have a feeling that Michael Bancroft would like this stuff too, come to think of it. Michael, you're in the chat, right? Michael, let us know what you think of this stuff, man, because I feel like you'd love this stuff. It's just really, artist Ivan Earl comes to mind. Yeah, I've got the the what do you call it? I've got the Ivan Durrell Melier Society Sleeping Beauty book over there, and it is worth every penny. It's just a great book. But yeah, I love this kind of stuff, man. When I see it.
Now, Shanth, your background, where did you get sort of your art inspiration, and who was there someone in your life that kind of influenced you to be an artist, to expose you to art? Or
no, it was all me, man. I mean, really, like it's I don't know how to describe it. Like when I was growing up, as you know, on Hampton Road, our neighbors worked at Uniroyal Tire, and you
remember the big tire?
Yeah, I do. I love the big tire. Yeah, I was trying to talk about it with Malin one time. Malin was like, "Yeah, I know the tire." You know, Malin. Malin is Michigan if it was a person. That's what I love about Malin. He's like, if Michigan gave birth to a human, it would be John Malin.
Exactly.
And my wife was talking about him, and I told John this when he was on the stream. She's like, he seems really intense, and I was like, nah, baby, he's just from Michigan. But the thing is that that they worked at Uniroyal Tire. Remember that tire? I used to love that. And see the Grand Prix downtown and all that other cool stuff we used to have. And but they had that computer paper with the holes punched in the side that was connected end to end.
Right.
And I love to draw, so they just bring that over to my house, and I would just get on the floor and draw. Nobody knew where the hell it came from, and I saw Star Wars.
It was similar for me because my dad
stuff.
It was similar for me. My dad was a salesman, so he had all these just 8.5 by 11 sheets with something written, but on the other side they were blank. So I had stacks and stacks of paper I could just go through and sketch, and I would do like fight scenes where I scribbled the whole page up like it was a mess, because I would actually have the whole thing happen as I drew it. And then here comes a spaceship, and then here comes another spaceship, and that would get that spaceship, and I scribbled out that spaceship. So the whole thing was a giant mess at the end.
I could not stop drawing. I don't know how to describe, like, it is a silly thing to do. You know, I look at my favorite sport is boxing. I think they've successfully figured out just get rid of the ball and just try to take each other out. But it's the thing about it is that I look at people who do that and go, you must have to love it. You know, when you're out on your feet and you're in round 11 and you're like, no, don't stop the fight. You got to love it. Comics is that way. Drawing is that way. And when someone said to me, when did you decide to be an artist? I didn't know I was an artist. I didn't even know that was a thing. I just couldn't stop drawing. That was it. Like I didn't even think about it as a job.
I did have an influence, and it was my mom. My mom was an artist, and I think the way it kind of, not only did she, she like volunteered at the art museum and did that for like 50 years.
Yeah.
But so there was art around the house of all different kinds. But I think more importantly, when she bought children's books for us, they had an art feel that she bought them for the art. And so I remember the children's books, some of them just being really, really impressive and going, wow, that's really cool. The colors were really interesting. And, for my kids, I did the same thing. I picked, I selected books that I thought were just really artistically interesting.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of a bit of a tradition that way. But I think that the children's book is another place where you see some fantastic stuff,
Yeah, there's a book I got to grab. Hang on. I think it's right by the room. Let me see if I can. Hold on a second. Let me close this out. And I'm going to switch camera views here. But there's a book I got that is a perfect example of this. I got this. Let me see if I can find it. It's got to be around here. You may hear an avalanche, and if you hear an avalanche and a thud, then just you're gonna have to wrap up the stream. That I've been killed. But there's a book that I got. Let me see if I can find it here. I know I saw it recently. There's a book. No, don't worry, I'm still alive. There's a book that I got not long ago. It's got to be in here. Oh, there it is. There's a book that I got long ago that I had as a child that I got in Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan, that I got in at the ULS book sale that they had. Dinosaurs and Prehistoric Animals.
Cool.
This book I drew from, and in here I traced my favorite prehistoric animal. This is all, of course, still perfectly scientifically accurate now. From dinosaurs from back in the day. And it was this saber-toothed tiger piece.
Yeah,
and
that's great.
Every time I draw a saber-toothed tiger. So when I saw that Frazetta piece with the saber-toothed tiger, the sun goddess, I have, let me see if I can show this without causing too much trouble. It's going to cause trouble no matter what, whatever.
I love the dinosaur book. You know,
do you see the sun goddess statue back there? I don't know if you can see it. Hang on, let me make myself a little larger here. Hang on. And there we go. Do you see right there? I don't know if you can see that.
I probably know the image.
Yeah, but it's she's right below the Wolverine claws with her arms spread apart, holding the dagger.
Oh yeah, that one. Yep, I remember.
There's a saber-toothed tiger right there. I have a statue of that piece because I love that piece so much. So yeah, those books, like just copying from books, no one knew what to do with me. I don't think, and I actually don't think I even took a lot of art classes. Actually,
I remember, like, speaking of the dinosaur books, like I go to the library, the Grosse Pointe Library, and and I would check out the same books every time. So like, if you remember those card catalogs, and you had to sign your name on it, my name would like be on the whole thing, like like down one side, the other, because I kept getting all the dinosaur books out, checking them out.
But that's the whole thing. There was an art book that we had. So when we moved to Chattanooga, Tennessee, there was this library that had an art section that was like 10 books. And one of them was how to draw Star Wars monsters and creatures. And this was like when the funnel got narrowed in terms of my access to things. And I was still drawing all the time. And then a buddy of mine showed me the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles first publication graphic novel when I was in school. And he said, I like comics. Can you draw this kind of stuff? And I was like, yeah. And he became one of my best friends. And he's the guy who, his older brother, and it took us to the first comic shop that I ever went to, and it was off and running. And I was, I don't think comics basically were the art I had access to, and they're responsible for everything.
Yeah.
They open the doors to everything. I mean, I drew self-published 2 comics before I was like 16, got my first pro job at 17. I was sending off my first submissions packages to New York. I was calling New York. I was 11 and 12. It was ridiculous. I was like, call the area code. And then I would type in information after the area code. And then I would ask for DC Comics, call them and ask them what their address was.
Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine, bad, man.
Can you imagine the secretary, what they had to deal with?
Oh, I'm sure they thought it was adorable because I doubt my balls had dropped.
But I mean,
so
I'm saying it wasn't just you. I'm sure you weren't the only one to think of that. So they're probably getting calls all day long.
Well, people probably were smart enough to grab the comic books and get the address out of there. I mean, it's just ridiculous, And it's like, Simon Bisley on ABC Warriors was the coolest organic. Yeah, and you've got Simon Bisley doing, the cover on the Lost Pages for Phil Diaz. And I mean, how cool is that?
Hey, speaking of the children's books, have you ever seen the Toot and Puddle books?
Yes, I have. Yeah,
the watercolors in those.
Yeah,
I thought those were really extraordinary. I bought those for my kids. I sort of bought these, wink, wink for my kids. Yeah, I was really buying them for me.
And when they get old enough, they can look at them. That's what I always say.
Exactly.
Listen, these are difficult times, children. Do you understand? I this guy who was working on the Clone Wars gave me my first tour of Skywalker Ranch and Lucas Animation. He was a super nice guy, and he took us around there. And he's a huge comic fan, and he has like the run of Iron Man, like the whole thing. Like He loves Iron Man. I remember, and he's got 2 sons. They were teenagers, and I said to him, well, that must be cool. Like, you get to share these comics with your kids. And he goes, I don't let my kids touch my comics. It was the best response I've ever heard from anybody. I was like, yeah, he's a big fan. He's the real deal. He's like, they're not taking him out of the plastic. But Antoine Dennison, I will tell you this. The Andrew Loomis books are great. I was really glad when they reprinted them recently, and they're great. They're really great, a resource for people who want to learn this basic stuff, Saying Simon Bisley brings all the fills to the art. Yeah. I mean, it's a crazy thing, right? Because, all of us, it's one of those crazy things. Inspiration is something that is both addictive and highly contagious, just like pessimism, unfortunately, and just apathy. And I think that that what people get out of this is when we talk about this stuff, and what I think being a comic book fan and being in a fandom has always been about is a bunch of people getting together and going, "Have you heard of this? Oh man, no. Have you heard of this? No." And then it's like a multiplier. It's like a force multiplier, for creativity, inspiration, and productivity.
I get the feeling that we're at the very beginnings of a new way of doing comic books. I think the old way is going away.
Yep.
And by the way, I've asked a couple people about this. Like, did you see the interview with Bob Layton? That, speaking of Iron Man, on the Baron Earl show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He basically confirmed that here's a guy who knows the numbers and going, I don't know how they're staying afloat. He's just like this industry's. He said, I thought it was begun 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So, but then someone when Mike Barron mentioned the crowdfunding, he goes, "Oh, that'll work." He knew right away it's a good business model, and I trust his instincts. So they confirm what's been happening with Ethan and all this stuff. This is the new business model. It just is.
Yeah. It's weird. It was weird. It's weird being, what was that? There was this famous quote, the problem with being ahead of the curve is when everybody else catches up, you're bored. I remember watching this, and I'm not bored by any stretch. But I've definitely gone through stages of indignation with it, watching what happened to Ethan. And I remember when I was backing Cyberfrog, and this is the cool thing to me about it. I was probably reading everything in the 90s but Ethan stuff. I did not know Ethan from Adam. And I even wrote to him about this when he was dealing with all the bullshit, when he was like going, are there people who would get into my work who would hear that I'm a Nazi, who would hear that I'm a racist and not buy it for that reason? And I said, listen, man, I've only known you since you were a white nationalist. No, I said, listen, I'm like going, we're like, give all people's credit for, and he does, obviously. Like, we're not as dumb as our supposed PR campaign makes us out to be.
Yeah.
Our supposed helpers make us out to be. God bless them, and keep them far away from me. But it's one of those things to where I saw Cyberfrog and I said the same thing. Like, I like the new Cyberfrog. I like the Cyberfrog invigorated by his time on Green Lantern, the expansiveness, the epic nature of the story. By the way,
there's an instance where you're saying people saying people aren't doing their best work. No, Cyberfrog is some of his best work I've ever seen. It is really, really along with Kyle. I think they make a great team. It's some of that stuff. It's just fantastic, So.
Yeah, Ethan has come home in a lot of ways, and I think that his time at DC Comics. Like, I was talking to my wife about this, about it the other day, and I said, it's as I've gotten to, watch Ethan on these streams, but also as I've gotten to understand the breadth of the work that he did at DC Comics, I go, this is somebody whose level of creativity is, top tier. Like, his inventiveness, he's changed the characters he's worked on. He's created things about them that are, are a part of their mythos that will never be removed, no matter how hard they try.
And thank goodness he negotiated to have part of that creativity. Because that's the one thing that drives me nuts is you see these guys that create the X-Men or something, and just they can't pay for their groceries or something. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, this is the cool thing about it, right? It's like when you see what's going on with Ethan and you see what all these guys did, at a certain point, like I always say this is that this is the edge of of something new that all of us have been, those of us who have been here, and lucky enough to have been here and I'm saying as a customer, as someone who was backing these books. It reinvigorated my love of comics. It led to me self-publishing my first 2 art books. But the biggest aspect of it is I feel as though we have such a, and I know it's like, I don't want to, what it is, but your boy Zach and John Malin for stepping into the fray and Ethan right after them. Like, without those things happening at that time and then continuing to fight, this wouldn't be here, man. And it's so great.
Well, you know what I'm amazed at? It just the pressure that they are under. I think it's lessened, obviously, but at that time the pressure was enormous. It's
It
just
was.
unbelievable. That so you mentioned a while back, you don't mind buying stuff from Marvel and DC. It's like, I don't know. Sometimes it's getting harder for me just because the way that, I mean, not that I buy comics anyways, but the idea of buying them, like, man, it just the way they've treated people. It's just, it's almost like I don't care if they treat me bad, but when they start treating other people bad, I'm pissed.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I will tell you this. How do I word it? The things that I buy, and I'm trying to think of the last thing that I bought that was theirs, but it's it's a lot of old stuff, but it's not a lot. That's the crazy thing. I mean, the most amount of comics I've bought have been CG books. My true addiction, sadly, is Blu-rays with bonus features and Frazetta books. And I'm right now, I was telling, I posted on Frazetta Girls recently. I was like, and tell you what, when Frazetta Girls started following me on Instagram, I was like, okay, I can die now. That's a good, I'll take that. It was like, so nice to see that. But
Hey, have you seen the new Death Dealer comic?
No, I haven't. But I was going to tell you, I don't know if you've heard about this, but did you see the interview where Sarah said that she's working with Taschen to do a complete Frazetta book?
What way? What do you mean, like a complete Frazetta book?
The giant Taschen editions, like
okay, yeah. Because there's a little situation that they got two sides of the family that are kind of, competing there, sort of a little feud of sorts.
Well, Sarah's the peacemaker. She's the one who is why the whole thing didn't blow up, which I was amazed when you hear her talk about it.
Yeah.
It was like no one was talking, but everybody got on with me. So I had to go to all the siblings and say, they want this painting. Like, it was bonkers. But yeah, she's
I really hope that they can work it all out. That'd be so nice to have it under one banner. But in a way, though, there's two museums, and it's kind of interesting that you have two locations in the United States that you can go to. Not everybody's going to come all the way up to Pennsylvania, and not everyone's going to go down to where they're in Florida.
Yeah, Florida. Yeah.
So, that's not too bad, I guess. To kind of.
Oh yeah, I mean, it could have been so much worse, and we're getting really great stuff from them too.
Yeah. And they're trying. I like that they're trying not to sell the paintings, because imagine how tempting it is. Oh, I could, put a new addition on my house, or just sell this one single painting. That must be awfully tempting.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like I could put an additional house on this additional house. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. But
several houses.
we're getting, I think we're going to see, when that Taschen books drops, I think it's going to be, the reference, for I hope it is the reference for Frazetta. Because the Da Vinci book that they did is great. They're just doing some crazy stuff right now with the quality of their books. And that's the thing I'm most excited about, man, is it's like, if we could just be, and I think it's already pretty much decided and set in stone, but this is the movement in comics of this generation, for the next 15, 20 years, easy, if not more. And it's just kick ass. Like, I can't believe, I always tell people, actually, I don't think I've ever said this on a stream, but it is what it is. The absolute happiest time in my youth was of that, 4 or 5 years I lived in Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan. And I loved that time. It was like sort of, I always say that it's like, it's my Rosebud. No, it's my Citizen Kane reference. And it's my, what do you call it? God, I'm trying to think of a movie that has that, but it was just, it's Marceline for Walt Disney, that little idyllic kind of place. And I always joke with Lauren, I go, ever since I've come into Comicsgate, there have been so many things you've been telling me, this is the right thing. Like, this is crazy. And of all of the places in the US and world that Comicsgate people are from, to meet somebody who knows what Mr. C's is, at this point, I'm like, yeah, I'm supposed to be here. This is the right move, man. So it's kick ass. I'm loving it, man.
Yeah. Did you have then access to the Grosse Pointe pool?
Yeah.
Do you remember? Were you there when they had that giant pool? The one that you zero depth pool that you walk into like a lake? That was
Yes.
incredible. That was an
Yeah.
incredible pool. Oh my gosh.
Those were times, man. Like that was the craziest stuff.
That's like
And
one
I
of the
was,
biggest pools in the in the country for a while.
yeah, that was my Hobbitshire. Yeah, I almost drowned in a pool of I almost drowned in a pool there because I jumped into the pool without looking at how deep it was. And this was when I sort of, guys, if you want a metaphor for a career in illustration and comics, I got into the water and I looked up and I could see the surface of the water, and I had just started learning how to swim. So I knew I was in some deep shit. And I figured out that if I put my heels down, like pulled my toes up, I could sink to the bottom. And I just held my breath with my face on fire, no oxygen, and just walked to the edge, jumped up because my weight was, and climbed out the pool. And people were like running and screaming like towards me, like, what the hell happened? And I always tell people that, it's like when you're doing this, when you're doing these campaigns, when you're putting your work out there, when you're stepping into the fray, anytime you're doing this stuff, you really got to you got to commit to it. And I like being around people who are committed to this, working hard, being productive, being industrious, and communicating with our amazing audience, because there is nobody like you guys anywhere. You want to
look at the
I'm going to throw this up there, and then, oh boy, I got to wrap up a bit. We're almost to 3, but let's do it because you only live once, right?
You want to see this Death Dealer comic book? Let's see.
Yeah, let's see it, man. Let's do it.
Let's see. Okay.
Here, I'll take you off screen
page.
So you can search for it. All right, here you go.
Let's look at the cover first.
Oh, yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah, let's zoom on that, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there you go. Wow.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, that is cool. Jeez.
Whoops, darn it. I got the other thing. Get rid of that.
It's, the worst things have happened. Whoops, I got this other amazing artwork.
Okay, so there's the cover.
Yeah.
Here's an interior page.
Wow.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, man.
The computer coloring now, it's some of it's,
Mm-hmm.
if you know what you're doing, it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. That's pretty neat. Wow.
Yeah.
Dig that.
And again, Frazetta, still undefeated.
Yeah,
His imagination.
Where are they going to find a Frazetta, match? I mean,
oh my gosh, look at that. It's beautiful. No, but what I mean to say is it's like his imaginative powers are still fueling artists. His paintings are still fueling artists. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's,
yep.
I cannot get over how, fortunate we are to have, artists like this. You got thrown in the water and thought you were drowning until someone said stand up. Yeah, that's totally what it was. Well, it was sort of funny because I was just learning how to swim. I remember jumping and I looked back and I saw the number. I still remember it. I was in midair and went, this was a bad idea. And I was like, is that a 6 or a 9? And I was like, yeah, it doesn't matter because I was like 6 or 5 or 6. I was like, oh shit, and I hit the water. But it's you look at all of these people and these amazing creators that we have, and we've just sort of been doing a world tour of different artists that we're inspired by, during this stream. There is something in here that hopefully you guys have seen that is going to inspire you on your projects, and inspire you to do something cool that no one's ever seen before. And in Comicsgate, if it's awesome, it can get funded. It really is the key. Like, someone asked me, I remember there was an open house at a college I was teaching at, and someone goes, do you guys have a prejudice against ballpoint pen artwork? The student who was there on tour, and I said, I don't know. Is it awesome? Like, I don't have a prejudice against anything if it's awesome. I've seen some ballpoint pen artwork that, blows my mind. Actually, hold on. I'm like that person who's like, can't get off the stage. When I'm showing artwork, it's one of my many,
I know,
is loving artwork, where is his name? God, how do I spell his name?
Hey, check it out. Here's my Death Dealer. I did this about a year ago.
Oh, hold on. Let me see it. I'm coming back. Oh my gosh, dude. Cool. Zoom. Oh, look at the knees, man. Those are fucking killer. Yeah, you got great anatomy, man.
So that's awesome. There's your Frazetta stuff, right? All in here.
Love it. Oh, I love the hands too, man. Holy shit, those are great. Beautiful. Everything I say is going to sound bad now, but I'm like, nice axe.
I think.
Yeah. Oh my god. So
I think it's going to be a salad tonight, though.
There you go.
Suddenly salad.
That's right. You're gonna
salad
love,
shooter.
Yeah. Oh my Lord, dude. You're going to love this. Check this out. Let me show you this. This is, so when someone says to me, how do you feel about ballpoint pen artwork? Let me see if I can pull this off here. Hang on. Share. Oh God. Share screen, Chrome tab. And this is a ballpoint pen artist that I've been following off and on for a bit. Let me see if I can add this to stream. Here we go. And if anybody hasn't ever seen this guy on Instagram, this is his stuff. And these are his ballpoint pen pieces. And he uses those and he also does oil paintings and things like that. But he uses ballpoint pens to do, where's some of his crazier stuff. He must have been doing portraits. He's done a lot of actors' portraits. Yeah, there you go. Ballpoint pen. Oils. And see, that's another one of his paintings. There's another ballpoint pen.
It doesn't matter how good I get at drawing. I still look at some people and just go, how?
How? Yeah. I mean, if people aren't looking at him and going, how? I don't know.
How in the heck do you do it?
Yeah. He does some ballpoint pen pieces. He's just so good. He does some ballpoint pen pieces somewhere in here. He'll do like a Rembrandt master copy or something like that. But he did one that was of some of horses, and we were just talking about horses and how unbelievably, some of these and how unbelievably difficult animals can be to draw. But how he did some ballpoint. There you go, pig swimming. There's the pen he uses.
Ooh, I love that. Oh, wait, oh my gosh.
Yeah, he uses one of those. And but there's there it is. Kids swimming in water.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's got skill for days.
And and you see those loose ones. That stuff too. It's just people don't realize just how much skill and knowledge that ability that stuff takes to make a couple of strokes, and it's oh my god.
That is not allowed to be a ballpoint pen drawing, and yet it is. It's. I mean,
Yeah. The only thing is when you get that real, like that horse, it's like, well, just take a photo,
I guess so, but see, when I hear it's done with a ballpoint pen,
yeah, I mean that's mind blowing, but still, it's kind of like,
there's
a certain point where like I want to see a little more creativity besides. I mean, the skills are extraordinary.
What about if it's LL Cool J though?
Oh, that's
come on,
cool.
And you were doing it live from LL Cool J. That's all I'm saying.
Is he? Well, he can't be doing that live. Really?
Yes, he is.
Oh my god.
Yeah, just saying. Mama said knock you out. That's it. So,
jeez.
Yeah, there's some crazy...
every time you think you know kung fu, there's always someone who knows more kung fu.
Yeah, but that's what I always say to myself, man. It's like, yeah, you don't copy magicians. Somebody just said that crap. Yeah, ballpoint pens, and I will tell you this, guys. If you hang out here at the Waffle Lodge, not only will there be waffles, not only will the grill always be open. Not only will you have amazing people like Dan Lawless stop in, you will have people like Phil Diaz stop in. You will have all of these crazy people like Michael Bancroft and all these awesome dudes that we know in Comicsgate. Occasionally, Malin will be in the chat. You never know. But this is what it's about. This is an inspiration station. You come here to get inspired. You come here to see things. And yes, you're absolutely right. Drawn Sword graphics. Incredible, but boring. I agree. It's no Sean Thinjetti or Dan Lawless. That's all I have to tell you. No. But it's like
now imagine if he did. He's got all the ability in the world. He could do fantasy like nobody's business if he wanted to. Sure. With those drawing skills, you just apply them to wherever you want.
Yeah, and this is the crazy part, guys. We're gonna make this absolutely fun. It had to happen. You came across the John Wick of art. Yeah, that's some crazy stuff. It's right, man. But guys, we're always going to try to put on a good show for you guys and do cool stuff. Often inspired to sleep. That's what it's about. All right, guys. So listen, we're going to wrap up. Dan, I want to say hey to you real quick after the chat if you've got a second just to say hey.
Sure.
And guys, we'll catch you guys after this commercial break, and I will see you guys later. Everybody have a good night. If you got work coming up soon, have a great day of work. Have a great day of whatever it is you're up to, whatever you do. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, but if you do it better. And I will see you guys soon. Take care. Stay gold. Bow indeed. and we will catch you guys later. So let's close out with, let's see, our song here.
Here's a little something for you busters. Yeah.
Not even learning anything on the street.
Yeah.
You think I'm stupid, son?
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say to you, boy?
Yeah.
Do you?
What's up with that?
Look at me, damn it!
Y'all cowards don't even smoke crack. What's up with
You
that?
smoke crack, don't you?
Y'all cowards don't even smoke crack.
Look at me, boy!
Hey to
You
you,
smoke crack, don't you?
don't even smoke crack.
You know what that does to you? Huh? You smoke crack, don't you?
Smoke crack.
Go on and do it expeditiously.
What's up with that?
It kills your brain cells, son. It kills your brain cells.
Don't even smoke crack.
I apologize. I forgot you were there. You may go now.